Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the final round of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship here in MX Simulator. It's the Hangtown MX Simulator National. We are ready to wrap up this 2021 season here tonight. Kellen Brower in studio bringing you guys the action here from Hangtown this evening. Fantastic racetrack to end the season with this weekend. Normally Hangtown opens the season for us, but obviously we're wrapping it up here tonight. And we're going to give you guys a quick glimpse of the track here tonight, courtesy of atom.com. atom.com also providing us with that lead-in music here tonight. So if you guys want to check out atom.com and some of the music lines that he's been putting out lately, definitely would recommend heading over there and checking him out. But it is Mr. Adam Holm, the king of the atom.com crew, who's going to show us around this track here tonight. As through the first couple of corners there, it's pretty wide open at the beginning of the lap, but then it tightens up very quickly. This newer section to the track out of the last couple of years, this tight left-hander into a long right-handed off-camber corner all the way through this downhill, and then it funnels back into this straightaway back across the kind of first turn complex through here. Little floater single to this right-hand 90-degree corner up the hill, up this big step-up jump here to the top. Get on the brakes and get turned around because it's a sharp left-hander back down the hill. Kind of riding through the stakes there a little bit is Adam Holm, but carry your speed down to the bottom of the hill, get on the brakes hard, and then turn around and get right back on the gas again. You got a little table coming out of this one, and then it funnels you back up this uphill roller section, which is always tricky. Every year we come here, you can see Holm getting a little bit kicked out coming up through the hills, but trying to get on the brakes hard, down to the inside. He's going to tuck to just to the right side of the track there and double off the hill. Little right-hand kink, little floater single, and then a left-hand 90 kind of sweeper brings you back into the center of the racetrack here. Got this little drop-down section and a right-hand 90-degree corner here back to this used to be that big uphill triple, but now it's just a little double triple sequence into kind of a long floater tabletop. Good flow through that section. Another 190-degree corner out of this one, and then a big tabletop floats you back to this used to be a right-hand sweeper, but now it's kind of a triple rhythm section. Holm hard on the brakes here, then triples out of this corner and carries speed out to the back of the racetrack here. Now you're about as far on the other side of the track as you can get. This tricky little step up to the top of the hill funnels you into these ruts, and you drop off this hill for the final time, and it's going to bring you back to the starting line from here. Got a tabletop, little double into this corner, right hand, kind of 90-ish degree corner into a left 180. Big tabletop, then floats you back down past the mechanics area one final time, hard on the brakes into the final corner, make a right-hand turn, and up and over the finish line jump you go. And that's a lap here tonight at Hangtown. Well, as mentioned, it is the final round of the 2021 season. So glad that you guys are with us here again tonight. You've been with us all year long. A lot of you guys have stuck through us through this season. and stayed true to us throughout the year. So thanks, guys, so much for always tuning in. Hopefully you guys will have another fantastic night watching these broadcasts. And just going to give you guys a cheers to you for tuning into these broadcasts every single week. So thank you guys so much. Going to have a little beverage with me here tonight to keep me. Class is clinched, but the 450 class is not. So there's some things to be talked about. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it and talk about it. First off, in the 450 class, qualifying fastest tonight was Alexis Leclerc. Payson Johnson has moved his way up to the 450 class this week after he clinched the 250 title last week. So that's a little bit peculiar there to see how Johnson does among this group. Colby Eagland, last week's winner. Tyler Lang. Lang went 1-1 last week to close this thing down to just 10 points. And Caden Speck inside of the top 5 there as well. Into the 250 motocross class, it's Logan Leitzel, fastest here at a 2:15.875. He goes, 1.3 seconds better than Seth Shirley. Shirley ahead of Trevor Burns, Cooper Hunt, and Nathan Prynn. So Prynn has returned this week after we did not see him at Fox Raceway 2. Him not being at Fox Raceway 2 actually cost us a chance to watch this title go down to the wire, as he missed the only round he's missed all year long at Fox 2, and it allowed Payson Johnson to pull away just enough to win the championship. But here is the storyline coming into tonight, right? This is the 450 class. There's only 2 riders left alive, Alexis Leclerc and Tyler Lang. Now, Lang had been carrying a lot of momentum into this week, but he was unable to capitalize on that at the Grand Prix of Argentina on Monday night and lost the championship to Leclerc there. Now he is trying to turn the tides back around and do everything he can possibly do tonight. If he goes 1-1 again tonight, though, Leclerc just simply needs to go 3-3. They would tie, but Leclerc does still have the tiebreaker. We believe so, at least. So, yeah. 3-3 for Leclerc gets it done tonight. Anything else that Lang does beyond that, we're going to be doing a lot of just kind of guessing the math out a little bit and trying to figure out what happens. But it is a 10-point difference, and that is the storyline there. In the 250 class, there is a tight battle for third, just like on Monday night in the MX2 class. Thomas Wilcox, Cooper Hunt, and there he is again, Logan Leitzel right in the mix. They can catch Nathan Prynn, but that's only if he... they can't catch him. My bad. But this battle for third is still very close. Wilcox, Hunt, and Leitzel, they are separated by just 6 points. A 3-point advantage from Wilcox to Hunt, and a 3-point advantage from Hunt to Leitzel. 6 points between them. It's going to be fun to watch in both of these classes to see how it all shakes down tonight. All right, let's see. We have got a 250 Consi to get through first. So the 250 Consolation race going to be going off here. Will Clark, Daniel Irvine, Tanner Thorson leading them in here. But yeah, we are getting ready to go racing for the final time this season. You guys will also notice across the bottom of the screen this evening, the MXS games are coming up next Monday through Wednesday. It's a fantastic event being put on by Dominic Saulnier. So if you haven't already signed up and you would like to try to compete in it, there's a myriad of things going on. There's best trick, there's best whip, there's quarter pipe, there's the freestyle competition, there's step up, there's supercross, there's supermoto, there's straight rhythm. There are so many events that are going to be ran at this MXS games, the first annual. Maybe they're going to do it again. I've always wanted to see someone put something like this together, and of course the man, the myth, the legend, Insane FMX gets it done. So we're going to be broadcasting that next Monday through Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, all 3 nights. So if you guys tune in next week and you want to watch that, not going to be racing. Well, there will be some racing because there's Supercross and Supermoto and Straight Rhythm. But there's going to be some judged competitions. There's going to be some step-ups. All of it should be a lot of fun. Just kind of a nice casual way to end the season, I feel like, and get some people involved that maybe we don't see very often doing some cool things. So please tune in next Monday through Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific for 3 straight nights for the MX Simulator games. And like I said, you guys can see what events will be coming up in the MXS games there at the bottom of your screen. As I got to get reloaded in here. But yeah, thanks guys so much for tuning in. We got Jakai Codrington is here tonight, Caden Cummings, Zach Mosqueda, Missile Gaming, Corey Burgess, Seth Shirley's here tonight. He is trying to do some damage in this 250 class tonight if he can. And Alligator is here. He says 2 whole seconds faster. What is Leclerc eating? Right? No kidding. Leclerc's been ridiculous. Brendan Kennedy, good to see you back again tonight. I am doing fantastic. He's asking how the chat's doing. So Straight up looking good here tonight. Thick Boy BT, Patty MXS, Kyle. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. We're going to drop the gate here in this consolation race in just a minute. And we will be off and to the races here for the festivities tonight at Hangtown. Good racetrack, as mentioned, to end this championship on. A lot of tricky sections. Fast racetrack, too, in MX Simulator. These guys can really rip on this track. And here are the 15 riders about to go to the line for this 250 consolation race. The top 4 will transfer through into the motos. There have already been 36 riders seeded into the motos. And 4 of them will join out of this consolation race into those fellows 36 riders to make up 40 riders going for 30 minutes plus 2 laps twice in the 250 class here tonight. What is up, Dustin Peterson? Good to see ya. Kimmyzen is also here, just out here crushing it. Trevin Thompson's going straight for the podium. He won the parade lap here, and he is stoked about it. Hopefully, maybe we see some burnouts there tonight out of our 450 champion, whether it is Lang or whether it is Leclerc. I don't know how Thompson is pulling this off right now, defying gravity in MX Simulator. Hey, shout out to Agris6na for the €10 donation. Thank you so much, Agris. Appreciate that. I actually haven't seen you when you were at the Budds Creek recast, I think it was. It was the last time I saw you out here. But thanks so much for always tuning in and always being so generous to donate. You are the man. And yeah, appreciate your support as always. Jakai Codrington, Jake Gass. Mr. Gaskew says, killed it this year, Kellen. Thanks so much. Trying my best. Have some of this beverage. Refreshing. All right, 4 laps. And the top 4 riders are going to go through out of this one. So let's just kick back and have a good time here, right, folks? Final consolation race of the year. I know there is not going to be a 450 consi. So the 250 rider is set to go, and it's time to drop the gate at Hangtown. Oh, some contact. Someone back there looking like Freddie Noren pinballing into the first turn as Peterson led them into the corner, but he gets taken to the ground. It's going to be Daniel Irvine with the Atom.com Kawasaki ripping the whole shot. He's got Will Clark right behind him, Dylan Copeland, and Jet Holyhead also in the mix. We got some heavy competition trying to make it through out of this consi. Hayden Stevenson, Dylan Adams off the side of the track. Ryan Swanson, Christopher McPherson also went through. He's now behind Stevenson there. As he moves into 5th, it is Jet Holyhead in the final transfer spot. Up to the top of the hill for the first time as Irvine leads him down. Getting hard on the brakes through those braking bumps. They're kind of rollers at the bottom of the hill, but as the track develops throughout the evening, you're definitely going to see some bigger braking bumps at the bottom of the hill develop as each moto goes out there. It's Irvine, Clark, Copeland, and Holyhead. Hayden Stevenson to the outside. Oh, look at this move by Holyhead. Gets around Copeland. Didn't want Stevenson to get too close there. Oh, and then Holyhead goes down. So Stevenson goes through into 4th. There goes, I think that was McPherson. There's Harnischweger. Everybody kind of funneling in through. Oh, we got another rider. That's Copeland. Dylan Copeland goes down. So Christopher McPherson goes into the final transfer spot. Or does he? What just happened? Dan Irvine was down. Irvine. Oh, and hitting the back of him there is Seth Harnischweger. So all these guys making a couple mistakes here, trying to figure each other out in the opening laps. Irvine, your early leader, has slipped back a little ways now. He's behind Copeland. McPherson goes through as well. And now Will Clark leads on the Boots House 114. It's Will Clark, Hayden Stevenson, Christopher McPherson, and Dylan Copeland in the transfer spots. But here comes Daniel Irvine on the 96 to the outside. Oh, contact! That's Copeland down. Irvine picks it up still in a transfer spot, but Holyhead round the outside, trying to turn it to the inside. Not quite close enough. So Holyhead now tailing Daniel Irvine as they go up the hill out of the first sequence of corners. Look at this, Irvine now trying to go to the inside of McPherson, and he might just make it work. He does, down this long straightaway. So Irvine, McPherson, and Holyhead in a bit of a train here. Holyhead is still in 5th, though, so he's got to get around McPherson. Look at this, might just go inside off the top of the hill and make it happen. Not quite yet, as McPherson holds on. Look at this, Holyhead. Oh, into the back of him! They're both down. He hit the back end of McPherson. Holyhead goes down. Jumping over top of them is the 137 of Ryan Swanson. And they both get up before Hayden Grimes, Tyler Smith, Tanner Thorson, Darius Peterson, Michael Mudge, Tyson Johnson, Seth Harnischfeger, Copeland on the struggle bus. Again, he's off the side of the track at the bottom of the hill. There's still a pretty tight-knit group back there. Things really got wild with Ryan Swanson now in the final transfer spot. So Swanson on this 137 AEO Power Sports machine. Trying to hold on. Oh, a little mistake there. Twitch of the front end, crosses over the rut twice. And Jet Holyhead can see that ahead of him and would like to close up. Triples into the corner. And here comes the motorsport.com machine. Trying to close up on this final transfer spot. We still have 2 more laps to go in this one, so there's plenty of racing to be decided. Outside for Holyhead. Didn't quite make it happen just yet, but he is definitely lurking back there. Will Clark still holds the lead from Hayden Stevenson and Daniel Irvine, and this is the battle for the final transfer spot. Ryan Swanson and Jet Holyhead, as Holyhead into the back of Swanson, tips it over. Fortunately, doesn't fall off the bike for his sake, but not the ideal scenario just yet. Oh, man, you can see Holyhead pushing the front end all the way out of the corner there. And he's really closing up here on Ryan Swanson. So Swanson about to deal with some pressure here. Down this back straightaway, Holyhead! Oh, what a weird crash. He had the pass nearly made. And suddenly, it just started looping out on him. Caught an edge wrong, and down he goes. And now he really has it all to do as McPherson went by, as did Tyler Smith. And Swanson continues to survive in this final transfer spot. Battle for second brewing a little bit. These guys are 16 seconds ahead of Swanson. Daniel Irvine catching up to Hayden Stevenson. Stevenson carrying momentum through this inside line here. But it does appear that Irvine's closing up a little bit, slowly but surely going to pull up alongside, up this tabletop in the back. Oh, kind of dualies. Stevenson didn't really lay a whip over, it was more just a kind of straight scrub. But Irvine around the outside gets the table cleanly, and triples into the corner to make that pass on Stevenson's stick. So Irvine up into second place. And your leader continues to be Will Clark on the Boots House 114. He is going to come down and collect the white flag this time. Battle for second is still going. Stevenson back around Irvine, not taking anything for granted here. Would like to hold on to this second spot if possible, while all the chaos still ensues behind them For fourth place, Swanson. Tyler Smith, about 3 seconds back of him. Jet Holyhead has caught Tyler Smith, but he's still got to make up those 3 seconds up to Swanson as Irvine tries to tuck underneath after the finish line jump. Doesn't quite get it done just yet. Now up the inside here. Still didn't get it done, but he's definitely got some lines working. Let's see if this one around the outside works. Stevenson kind of messed up the corner. Irvine just swoops in to make the pass into second place. Good move for the 96. Back to third. Here is Swanson, or fourth, excuse me. Here is Swanson, and there is Tyler Smith with Jet Holyhead to the outside. Holyhead has to go a little bit wider because Tyler Smith forced him out there, and they're still drag racing. Tyler Smith holding on. It's hurting their chances perhaps to get up there, though. And look at Holyhead. He just forces the issue down the inside to move back into fifth place. So now there is the gap. You can see Ryan Swanson and Jet Holyhead. They're separated by 3.5 seconds. And Holyhead is definitely running out of time if Swanson can just keep it on two wheels and ride smooth here. They drop down the hill once again. Holyhead is certainly pushing the pace as hard as it possibly can be pushed. And that gap is definitely starting to come down. You can see Holyhead is much closer than he was a few corners ago even. It's down to just about 2 seconds. The 105 Motorsport.com machine on the charge. Scrubs that down hard, continuing to push. Does not want to miss out on these motos. Look at how fast he's hitting that rut. Lands off the track a little bit, but he's certainly much closer. Oh, almost through the front door. Will Clark is about to come down and take the win out front, but all eyes on this battle for the final transfer spot. Holyhead is so close, and he's really pushing, and he pushes too hard. He blows the rut. He apexed the corner incorrectly. Meanwhile, Will Clark takes the win out front. It appears it will be Daniel Irvine coming through in second place. Hayden Stevenson in third, and Ryan Swanson, barring a late mistake here, is going to finish up in fourth. Holyhead is just gonna miss out. Final corner, just got to get through this one clean. Took it easy in the end, and Swanson is through. Holyhead actually made another mistake in the last corner. That's going to cost him more time, ends up 4 seconds down. Tyson Johnson also misses out, as does Tyler Smith, Christopher McPherson, Tanner Thorson, Hayden Grimes, Seth Harnischfeger, Dylan Copeland, Darius Peterson, Michael Mudge, Dylan Adams. And that is all for the field. So Copeland going to be the last guy to bring it down for us. Throws a nice little oppo whip there. Sure, he's not going to be too thrilled that he's going to miss the motos tonight. This is more or less a home race for Copeland. I know he's from somewhere up in NorCal. I don't remember where exactly. So bummer for D Cope, but he'll take it to the showers and probably cheer on his teammates for the rest of the night on that Taggart Designs machine or the BPC team, because he's also running a Casey Cochran's number 90 BPC Yamaha for this LCQ for some reason or another. Grimes does not finish, it looks like, so Copeland's going to go through to pick up 11th, and we're just waiting for cuts. Here he comes over the line, and nothing changes inside the top four. Will Clark still is your winner from Daniel Irvine, Hayden Stevenson, and Ryan Swanson. Alrighty. So, 250 class coming up first. Remember, a championship has already been clinched in this class. So this is all about bragging rights for who's going to win tonight, but that battle for third in the championship, is also still very close between Wilcox, 3 points ahead of Hunt, who's 3 points ahead of Leitzel. Leitzel was your fastest qualifier tonight, so certainly a lot to play for. as we head into 250 Moto 1. Head back into our studio here, Kellen Brower in the booth, as we get ready to drop the gates officially on the evening here at Hangtown. Glad to see everybody joining us again tonight, hanging out in the chat room. Braden Carter was here. I think I'm saying your name right, Jakai or Jachai? Jachay? Codrington? Jack Leach. Ross, All Things MX is here. Chase Blakely. Ah, thanks, Chase. I appreciate that. Marcus Winner. Motocross family, indeed. Jay-Z Joker. What's my favorite R jerky flavor? Oh, man. What was that one? It was like sweet and spicy or something like that. Was really good. And then I can't remember the name of it. Let's just pull it up and look. Let's do a little bit here. New window. Boom. We'll go to eatrjerky.com. And this is where you guys can go, people. This is it. Use that code SYS20 for 20% off your order. It's the sweet and spicy stuff that's very good. That stuff I like a lot. The sizzling hot was maybe a little bit too much for me. Teriyaki a classic. They have a whole line of it. Teriyaki, sweet and spicy, western, black pepper, sizzling hot. They got the 7 Deuce, the black pepper brisket. It's good stuff, people. And it's fairly cheap, right? $8 a bag. You can get a few bags. Use that code SYS20 for 20% off your order. I mean, seriously, right? It's good stuff. I don't know why you guys haven't used that code to save yourself some money. H. Hooter says, did Payson clinch last week? Yes, he did. Garrett Kroos wants to know, who is my favorite rider to watch in Sim? I don't really have a favorite. They all have their unique styles. I like watching Dennis Fjellberg ride because he's like always flashy, always big whips, pushing the pace, but sometimes it doesn't work out, so he crashes a lot. I don't know. It's a good question. I've had my favorites, I feel like, over the years, but now I'm just kind of a fan of everybody's riding style because they're all better than me. So, yeah, I mean, Leclerc's gnarly. Lang's been pretty good lately. I like his style. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, I think they're all good. I mean, Johnson's obviously gnarly on a 250. I like Jack Haley when he's consistently flowing. He's pretty good as well. Yeah, they're all really good. I enjoy. Cheers, chat. Good stuff. No, Leclerc does not have it won just yet. Tyler Lang only 10 points behind Leclerc heading into this final round. So Lang can still win this championship tonight. Leclerc was very good at Argentina on Monday, and it appears that he has definitely figured the track out here tonight because he was over 2 seconds faster than anybody else in qualifying. But Lang does have perhaps a little bit of help. His teammate Payson Johnson moved up after clinching the 250 title, was your second fastest qualifier tonight, so maybe Payson gets into the mix a little bit, but that's obviously 450s. That's coming up in a bit. We're on the 250 Moto 1 first, and we'll see what happens in that. Thoughts on Ken Roczen? Terrific rider. He scored more points than anybody else this year in motocross and supercross, so if they had the Grand National Championship, he would be a Grand National Champion. Although he didn't win the title indoors or out, he was the best rider all year long when you combine both series. So I think people look down on the fact that he got second in both series and are like, oh, he can't get it done or whatever. But dude's freaking gnarly. He won a lot of motos. He won a lot of supercrosses. Like, it's just great that he's still out there even shredding. So, yeah, love it. All right, let's get reloaded in here. What else we got? Does Kellen still have speed in MX Sim? No. I'm okay, but definitely not what I used to be. Garrett Crow says, it's really fun to watch Leclerc when he's locked in. That guy does some crazy stuff when he's in the zone. Absolutely. Kimmy Zin says, Fresquez is still the GOAT for you. That video needs an update. Personally speaking, yes, just because I feel like Tyson, the way and the talent that he had to beat to be champion when he was quite incredible. So, Slurp asks, who owns Racer X? Jason Wygant. No, it's Davey Coombs. It's actually the Coombs family. It's owned by a company called Racer Productions that is co-owned or equal-owned by Davey Coombs, Rita Coombs, his mom, Carrie Jo Coombs, his sister. They're all involved with it. Jason Wygant's just the editorial director. But yeah. All right, let's make sure I got the moto name correct here. And get ready to put that moto timer up. But yeah, Davey Coombs is the editor-in-chief of Racer X. So, technically speaking, owns the business. All right, here we go. Time for 250 Moto 1 here at Hangtown. Let's drop the gate in NorCal. Couple riders hitting the gate, and it's caused a bit of a stack up on the outside. It left a little bit more room on the inside for a lot of cowies to get through, but it's actually going to be a KTM at hole shots. Thomas Wilcox on the Phil Ski and Snowboard backed by C4 Designs. KTM rips the Studio 8 hole shot award, but it's actually going to be Nathan Prynne on the 42 Impact Cowie to the outside to take the race lead. Prynne at the top of the hill gets it away from Wilcox. Wilcox doing what he needs to do, though, to get third in the championship tonight with a good start. And Prynne, a little mistake at the bottom of the hill, almost going to lose the lead. And then Wilcox nearly gets put to the ground. Trevor Burns goes up into second place on the number 50 Underground RC Cowie. But Wilcox trying to shoot back up the inside as they head up the hill the first time. Look at that move by the 33. Burns still fighting back and out the inside here at the top of the hill. Dropping down, it's Prynne, Burns, Wilcox, Leitzel up there inside of the top 5. Jack Gatlin with a good start. Benjamin Saves is here this week. Sullivan to the outside as Alec Horton mobs down the inside on his mobgraphics.com 310. We also have Cooper Hunt in the mix on the 38. So some of the top-level talent with Payson Johnson missing, getting good starts this week. We're going to have a good race here tonight. But they are all chasing the Frenchman, Nathan Prynne. So Prynne leading the way, and he has already got Trevor Burns trying to close up on him. Burns has been a little bit hit and miss of late, but when he hits, boy, has he been very fast. Oh, he throws an absolute filthy oppo whip on that tabletop. And Prynne's starting to stretch it out a little bit. Kind of a bummer to see Prynne back, honestly, after he had to miss last week, because if he was here last week and he could have maybe done what he's doing right now, go out and win last week, he would have forced Payson Johnson's hand. Johnson entered that round with a 29-point gap in the championship, obviously left as your champion. But now Prynne just trying to do something to win this finale. But made a little mistake right there. Burns is going to get back around him. So Burns takes over the race lead as they come down past the mechanics area. Trevor Burns leads lap number 1 here at Hangtown. Nathan Prynne right behind him in second place. Wilcox third. Leitzel there in fourth. Benjamin Saves now inside of the top 5. Luke Sullivan swinging around. He's in 6th. Cooper Hunt 7th. Shirley 8th. Matherly 9th. Cochran 10th. Horn 11th. Taylor Payne, Will Clark, Gerst, Heinzelman, Carr, Post, Thompson, Carter, Gatlin, Love, Shields, Thomasuna swinging way out. McLaughlin up the inside. Wofford, Davis, Vanderbeek, Nygren, Gress, Irvine, Melton, Bordeaux, Wilcox, Ryan Swanson, Brandon Wolf, Hayden Stevenson, Braden Tharp, Colton Hansen, McIntosh, and Balzer looks like he has DNF'd the moto already. Barely got off the gate, so not sure what happened there to the rapidly moving Dane. So we drop back down the hill. Our race leader is still Trevor Burns. But Prynne certainly going to give him some fits to win this race. So Prynne entered, I believe, 76 points down of Johnson. If he could go 1-1 tonight, he'd only be 22 down of Johnson when the championship dust settles. So obviously it's a little bit kind of up in the air with Johnson not racing tonight in that sense, and well, not racing the 250 class, I should say. But it does make Prynne maybe feel a little bit better that he had the championship close throughout And he missed a round. Johnson's going to miss a round if he only ends up 22 points down in the end. Does look a little cool. Nice oppo whip there for Burns. So Burns jumps off the side of the track a little bit there, and Prin is right in tow. Wilcox is still right on these guys, too. He has not let them go. And obviously your fastest qualifier, Leitzel, he doesn't want to let them go either. So we've got a nice little four-rider train kind of grouping up here at the front as Prin tucks off the inside, almost clips a SpongeBob. Here comes Wilcox to the outside, turning to the inside down here. Nice scrub, contact, cross jump. They both go off the track. Prin scoots back on, cuts across, and takes over second place again. Here comes Wilcox to the outside to try to get it back. Not enough to get it done, though, as they come down past the mechanics area. Inside, outside options here. Look at Wilcox tucking inside before the finish. Trying to hook that inside rut, but it doesn't quite work. So now Burns has a little bit of a margin to work with out front as we got a three-rider battle for second. Prin, Wilcox, and Leitzel. Two different lines being used again as Dooley's ripped off the table. Down the inside, Wilcox trying to get a drive up this hill. He's hooked that rut very well. And he's going to get up the inside to take over second place. Prin had no response. And now up the inside into third place comes Logan Leitzel. Prin back down the inside again. Doesn't get it done. So the Frenchman coming unglued a little bit here. Three different line options at the bottom of the hill. Prin pulls back even alongside Leitzel to the end of the straightaway. Gets back through and into third place. Does not want to let the 13 go. And Leitzel, cheeky little cut right there. That's going to cost him some penalties. Oh, Prin off the track again. And Leitzel back through into third place. So momentum being carried up the hill, and now Wilcox, after moving into second place, has his eyes set on Trevor Burns, your race leader. All these guys with Johnson moving up to the 450 class to race this week and perhaps help out teammate Tyler Lang, sensing an opportunity here tonight to win this 250 class and go out with some good scores, good points, and in Wilcox or Leitzel's case, or Cooper Hunt if he gets into this mix, those guys want to finish third in this championship. So Wilcox and Leitzel doing a fabulous job so far, running second and third. Cooper Hunt has now moved into fifth. So Wilcox was the man in third entering tonight. 3 points up on Hunt, 6 points up on Leitzel. Leitzel were to get around him here for second place. Leitzel would close into within 4 points of Wilcox. But I think Wilcox has his eyes and mind set a little bit more up the road if he can so manage it. But I'll tell you what, Leitzel reeled him in pretty quick. And they have all dropped Nathan Prin. This is a bit of a shock. Although Prin went down, I guess, huh? Yeah, he did. So that is going to move Cooper Hunt into fourth, and Prin, I guess, showing why things are not the way they were last week. Just maybe not feeling the flow with this game at the moment. Big whip there for Cooper Hunt, as he has currently got Luke Sullivan hot on his heels. Sullivan returning to racing after a little bit of a hiatus last week. And so we got a little three-rider train developing for fourth place. All the while, we have a battle for kind of the lead brewing. Yeah, it has turned into a battle for the lead in a hurry. Leitzel is pushing Wilcox up into Burns out front. So it kind of looks like it's almost just a battle for second right now between these two, but they are right there. Burns is going through the corner at the bottom of the hill as these guys come through. There he is. I mean, there is very little in it between first and second, and almost nothing in it between second and third as they come up the rollers. Leitzel going to try to tuck to the inside, but just not enough to get a nose there on Wilcox just yet. Ooh, big kick out there for race leader Burns. Look at the speed Wilcox carrying at the bottom of the hill, trying to go to that middle rut and carry a little bit more momentum. Opens him up to Leitzel getting in there and trying to put his nose up the inside there of Wilcox, but Not close enough just yet. Now they both kind of fall to the outside. I don't think Wilcox wanted that line, but he made a mistake. Now Leitzel going to go inside here on the step up. Oh, it was close. And, oh, contact. And what a pass. Leitzel actually made it stick. But he had kicked Wilcox's rear tire up into the air. There was rear end contact between both riders. Oh, Wilcox. Now he just shoves out of the way Leitzel to go down. That was a bit cheeky there from Wilcox. Leitzel's was incidental, I think. I don't believe he meant to push to that outside line and make contact with Wilcox, but Wilcox went right for the jugular up the inside. And I don't imagine that's going to sit well with Leitzel. Leitzel now falls back right into the clutches here of Cooper Hunt, as this intriguing battle for third in the championship remains such, with Nathan Prynne falling out a little bit. So Wilcox still just 1.7 down of race leader Trevor Burns. They are set to engage in a bit of a battle. All the while, this battle for third is hotly contested. As a mistake for Leitzel, Hunt around the outside, but just funnels in now behind Leitzel. Now a little mistake as well for Hunt. Can allow Sullivan up alongside. The 18 machine to the outside, turns to the inside at the top of the hill. It's a drag race. Bar to bar up the step up. Sullivan goes to the far inside. Hunt carries speed around the outside. He's still nearly alongside as they jump down the hill. Who holds it on a little bit longer? Hunt goes for this inside rut. And they're still pretty much side by side. Scrub dualies heading up the hill. Sullivan trying to get that rear end planted. And he's going to try to shorten this and go to the inside, but Hunt defends well. So the battles have been aplenty at the front of the field here. Still a lot to play for, even though this championship has been settled. Payson Johnson, your newly crowned 250 national champion, has elected to ride the 450 class this week. So as such, the door has flung open in this 250 class. Meanwhile, we had a change for the lead. Trevor Burns went down. Trevor Burns has gone down. He goes back into second place. He retains that position just ahead of his teammate Leitzel, but we got a new leader on our hands. It's Thomas Wilcox, the Phil's ski and snowboard KTM rider backed by C4 Designs. Gonna lead us through onto lap 6. So we have put 11 minutes and some change, almost 12 minutes down, which means we still have 18 minutes plus 2 laps left to run in this race. And something tells me Logan Leitzel, he has fire in his eyes right now. He is not going to be thrilled with the way that Thomas Wilcox raced him there for second place initially. And I'd have to imagine he is going to try to pass his teammate Trevor Burns into this second position as quickly as possible and set sail after Wilcox out front. Lap time check for our leaders. Wilcox checking in right now at a 2:21.1. 2:18.4 was his best. Got a 2:28.3 out of Burns, so obviously like we talked about, he went down. And a 2:19.3 for Leitzel last time by the fastest of the lead group. 2:21.7 out of Hunt, a 2:22.9 out of Sullivan, a 2:20.7 out of Horn, 2:22.9 out of Gerst, 2:30.3 out of Prynne, so he is still struggling. Cochran at a 2:30.1 and a 2:22.7 out of Cade Matherly as we go through our top 10 positions right there. Here is on board with Leitzel though as we stick with it, trying to get around Trevor Burns. I think if you're Trevor Burns here, you don't really want to let Leitzel by. Ideally, oh, we got a change coming up. That is Wilcox down. And you could see Leitzel as he went by and bike humped as well. A bit of a maybe karma there out of Logan Leitzel. Oh, and then he got real sketchy coming into that corner. But the lead has flip-flopped again. Trevor Burns goes back to the front. It's That's a weird spot for Wilcox to have crashed as well. You don't normally see riders on a simple step on, step off really get it that wrong. But he regroups. He's still ahead of Hunt, who is there in 4th, but it is Burns out front. He'll bring us down past the mechanics area, and once again a different leader onto lap 7. Well, we have yet another new leader onto lap 8. Logan Leitzel is certainly knocking on the door, hoping to make that reality, and our top 5 riders are still separated by just about 10 to 12 seconds here, so it's pretty close at the front, coming up to the halfway point of this. And Leitzel giving chase to his teammate Burns. Now it becomes a situation where Burns doesn't really care too much about Leitzel, I don't think. He wants to win this moto. Of course, he wants his teammate Leitzel to finish up second in this, third, in this championship if possible. But he also doesn't want to thwart his attempt at a race victory to do so. Maybe in a battle for second, he lets him go. I don't think he's letting him go at all here. So now Leitzel really has to make it happen if he wants to go to the race lead, as Trevor Burns has almost nothing in it out front. We are halfway through the moto here at Hangtown. 250 Moto 1 at the 12th round of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. Colin Brower in booth bringing you guys the action. Drop off to the inside. Leitzel's been liking this one, and it got him a lot closer this time to his teammate Burns. Still not quite enough. Both these guys funnel into that middle rut. And this triple line so tricky, but how about Burns getting it and still getting to the inside right there? That is quite something, but then he lands off the inside of the track right there, has to go through some of the hay bales. So Leitzel, I think, can sense that Burns is maybe a little bit flustered, perhaps pushing the pace just a tiny bit out front in order to maintain the lead. And it almost seems as though Leitzel at this point is really kind of settling back and letting Burns make the mistake. Because it does seem like Leitzel almost at will closes up but then backs off. But perhaps that is just his peak and Burns is matching it as well. Either way, it's a fantastic duel between teammates for the race lead. Burns, finally another big mistake, slides out. And that is the door of opportunity Leitzel was looking for the entire time. So Logan Leitzel takes over the race lead here at Hangtown. 13 minutes left on the clock. And he is going to try to run away with this thing now if at all possible. Burns, of course, going to try to match it, but he just made a little mistake. So let's go ahead and give you guys a top 20 rundown here in 250 Moto 1 at Hangtown. This is, of course, brought to you by atom.com. Head over there to atom.com and check out Mr. Adam Holmes' latest line of music. We led in tonight with his single Endeavor. We'll also go out with it as well. But he's got a lot of other things that you guys can check out there. Always putting some cool stuff up and some merch if you want to support him and help him in his music career. So atom.com brings you this top 20 rundown here. 250 Moto 1 at Hangtown. Logan Leitzel leads his way up the hill. Here at the halfway point, the Underground RC number 13 machine is your race leader. Trevor Burns in second place. His teammate on that Underground RC Cowie, the number 50 machine. Third is Thomas Wilcox. Phil's ski and snowboard KTM backed by C4 Designs on the number 33. Fourth is Cooper Hunt in Underground RC number 38. Fifth is Luke Sullivan on the number 18. Yogi Designs backed Honda. Sixth for Ethan Gerst on the Phil Ski and Snowboard KTM, the number 58. Seventh for Alec Horn on the mobgraphics.com, number 310. Eighth is Casey Cochran on the number 90 BPC Yamaha. Ninth goes to the Frenchman Nathan Prin, the number 42 machine on that Impact Cowie. And 10th, everyone's favorite recent YouTuber Cade Matherly on the Stance number 100. Oh, Braden Carter was 11th. He just went down. That is going to push Benjamin Saves into P11, the number 24 machine. Lane Wofford, the 181 Boots House machine, now goes to 11th as Benjamin Saves goes down. So nobody wants 11th right now as we're looking at him. But Wofford temporarily takes it over. Tyler Shields moves to 12th on the Stool Bend 777. Johan Bordeaux moves to 13th on the Impact number 394. Goes to 12th, though, as Shields goes down. So Benjamin Saves moves up to 13th on the number 24 machine. 14th for Chris Post on the Team 2 Dope. Number 319. That is Seth Shirley in now 15th spot, the second fastest qualifier tonight on the atom.com, number 441. 16th now is Braden Carter, the Phil Ski and Snowboard KTM number 19. Tyler Shields back to 17th. 18th for Brandon Nygren on the atom.com, number 150. 19th for Seth Carr, the Underground RC number 347. And 20th, the Phil Ski and Snowboard backed KTM rider. It's the number 74 of James Wilcox. And he rounds out our top 20 here at the halfway point of 250 Moto 1. So Wilcox still, actually, he just moved up into second place around Trevor Burns. Burns may be falling apart a little bit here into the final third of this one as Cooper Hunt closes up. Rider down, that was, I think, McIntosh, but he's a lap down. Hunt trying to close up here. Burns making a few too many mistakes right here. Oh, man. Big kick out there. Short of the step down. And Hunt is right there. Oh, that's Wilcox going down, though. Thomas Wilcox goes down. Cooper Hunt goes by. And now Hunt trying to get around Trevor Burns to get into second place. Nearly pulls up alongside of him. These two have lost touch with race leader Logan Leitzel. He is now 13 seconds ahead. Hunt trying to peek up the inside, but just not close enough yet. So as they drop back down off the hill, Burns actually opens up a bit of a gap on his teammate. Yet another lap clicked into the books. On to the 10th lap here. But of course, this is a 30-minute plus 2-lap race. So laps don't matter. It's about that time. And we have 8.5 minutes left on the clock, so there's still plenty of time to figure things out. What we are figuring out right now, though, is Logan Leitzel is a man on a mission here at Hangtown. He wants third place in this championship. After, I think he just got third place pulled away from Seth Shirley in the MX2 World Championship on Monday night with a solid performance in Argentina. Now he's trying to get third place in the National Championship and claw it away from Cooper Hunt ahead of him, who's fourth, and Thomas Wilcox ahead of him, who is in third. Wilcox entered this moto 6 points up on Leitzel. As he currently runs in fourth place in this moto, he is losing 7 points. So Leitzel would move into sole possession of third place in the championship with this performance as it is. But he's still got some time left for things to get a little frisky out front. We'll see how it develops. Meanwhile, Ethan Gerst has moved around Luke Sullivan and into the top 5. So a solid effort here for the number 58. Gerst has had an up and down year as well. Some motos have been great. Some motos have been not so great. This one erring on the side of greatness, though, as he tries to stamp a top 5 onto his resume before the season's done. Looking like he's quite comfortable at his pace as well. Sullivan must have went down. That is what caused him to slip back to 6th. Nathan Print has fought his way up into 7th. Matherly is now 8th. As Cochran retains 9th, but actually loses a position to Matherly. Bordeaux is the man who's lost the most here, it seems. He was in 6th when we checked in. He's now back to 10th. So some positions have been shuffled around inside of the top 10, but the status quo remains as such out front. Leitzel putting in a good pace as well. And lap traffic-wise, he's going to hit some lap traffic in the final 6 minutes or so of this moto. But fortunately, it seems like all the traffic is pretty evenly spread out. He's not going to catch any big clumps. In fact, he's about to go around another rider, or he's catching one right here who just rejoined the track. And that rider going to move out of the way. Looks like one of the AEO Power Sports riders. Yeah, Leitzel, he just looks in control. Trying to pick up on anything that he's maybe not flowing with right now, and it just looks like he's comfortable. He is making a couple mistakes, it seems like, through the braking bumps as they're getting bigger. But that is just happening to everybody. This track is getting rougher, it's getting gnarlier. You can see where these bumps are getting a little bit sketchy to deal with. It's tough to really see what Leitzel's going to do wrong here down the stretch, though, as we are into almost the final 4 minutes of this one. It is spread out quite a bit. Wow, Wilcox has lost a position to his teammate. Yeah, this is going so well. Oh, but now Gerst goes down and Leitzel goes back into fourth. Or, excuse me, Wilcox goes back into fourth. So Wilcox moves around. You got Cooper Hunt. He's still trying to chase him down. Burns just went down in second place. But, man, everything is spread out so quickly. Burns going to be about 20 down of the lead now. He's still 6 seconds ahead of Hunt. Hunt another 10 ahead of Wilcox. Just not close anymore. You got Sullivan pretty close to Gerst. Here's a good battle. Cochran and Matherly. Matherly trying to close up on the number 90. Oh, dualies over the table. Cochran trying to get away, though. Matherly is tailing him very closely. This is going to be a good battle, though, if Matherly can get a little bit closer and make Cochran have to think about the inside lines a little bit more. You can see Cochran is still making the outsides work, but now he just made a little mistake, so Matherly is going to try to pull up alongside up the rollers, but it seems like just as he got that opportunity, he kind of squandered it. And Cochran pulled back out a little bit again. Matherly swings around Cochran. Ooh, little mistake actually for Matherly. And another one. So just as I thought, he was going to close right up on Cochran and make things interesting. He makes a couple mistakes and it stretches it back out again. Still nothing really happening out front. Oh, Wilcox went down. So Sullivan went by. And here comes that Cochran battle here. Cochran's going to close up, and as he gets there, he goes down. It's just a little tip over, though. He doesn't actually fall off the bike. So Matherly goes by. And now that's Wilcox picking it up from a crash. So Matherly's going to be up the inside there of Wilcox. He's going to go by him. And Thomas Wilcox falling apart a little bit here after leading at one point. He's going to still have an inside line on Matherly. Let's see if Matherly squares him off. Oh, what a move. Cade Matherly read him like a book. And Wilcox trying so hard to block it. Actually tucked the front wheel a little bit. Dualies. They almost collide. Outside versus inside. Outside the prevalent as Wilcox goes through. Oh man, it just fighting. Fighting for traction out of that corner, but collected it nicely. Time is about to expire. Where is our race leader? Here he is on the backside of the track. So time is now at zeros, which means Logan Leitzel is going to come down and collect the 2-lap board next time by. And he just looks comfortable. No pressure from Trevor Burns. Cooper Hunt is trying to close up in the late stages of this one. And it appears like it will come down to Leitzel versus Hunt for third in this championship. If Hunt can catch and pass Trevor Burns to get into second place, then Leitzel and Hunt will be dead tied going into the final moto of the year for that third place battle. And it essentially becomes a whom beats whom competition. Oh, Burns a little mistake. Hunt is going to see that gap continuing to come down just a little bit here and there. And know that that position is going to be there for the taking, and he certainly would love to have it. Little mistake there for a lapped rider on the inside. Oh, Hunt's lost ground. He's lost a lot of ground. He must have went down. So it is not going to work out this time for him. But if he stays here, it will keep him within 2 points of Leitzel, who is now in a position to assume third place in the championship, all for his own taking. If you're just joining us here tonight, Payson Johnson, your reigning 2020 250 Pro Motocross champion, clinched the 2021 championship last week at Fox Raceway. He is not in the 250 class tonight. He is elected to move up and ride the 450 class and potentially help out teammate Tyler Lang try to win the 450 class title coming up in a little bit. But it has swung the door wide open, and the second place man in the championship, Nathan Prynn, is back racing with us tonight. He entered 76 points down of Johnson in the championship, so there's no chance for him to overtake Johnson. But he is also unable to be caught from behind from the battle for third, which is between this man, Logan Leitzel, man in third place, Cooper Hunt, and a little further back of that, Thomas Wilcox. Wilcox entered 3 points up in the standings of Cooper Hunt and 6 points up of Logan Leitzel. But Leitzel on the verge of winning 250 Moto 1 here at Hangtown would also move into sole possession of third place in the championship by 2 points over Cooper Hunt. Wilcox running in P6 is losing 10 points to Leitzel right now, so he would be 4 back of Leitzel heading into the final moto, 2 back of Hunt. So Cooper Hunt is going to stay in 4th place, but have Logan Leitzel leapfrog him to move into 3rd, while Wilcox falls back behind Cooper Hunt into 5th in the championship, heading into the final moto of the year. But this is Logan Leitzel's MO of late. He has been electrifying this 250 class down the stretch. And I hate to make this comparison again, but it does coincide with him having an injury that kept him on the sidelines in Canada. Was riding for the Troy Lee Designs Gas program up there in the Pro Canadian Motocross Championship. Had an injury, got a little bit more time to play sim, I think, and it really turned his season around. Now he is coming out in these last few rounds with basically a vengeance and proving why he is one of the best 250 riders in the world in MX Simulator. And might have a shot at still finishing up 3rd in this title, just like he did in the Grand Prix scene earlier this week. Just a few more corners to navigate, though, and this is going to be a big one for Leitzel. He is going to try to go 1-1 here tonight. Stamp some authority on the end of this season as well. Two corners left here for Logan Leitzel at Hangtown. 250 Moto 1. Terrific ride. Got the lead around halfway and took off. Logan Leitzel wins 250 Moto 1 at Hangtown. So Cooper Hunt has moved back into 2nd place around Trevor Burns. And as such, that is actually going to put him into a tie with Logan Leitzel heading into the final moto. So essentially, if Hunt beats Leitzel and Wilcox doesn't gain substantial points against either of them, Hunt finishes 3rd in the championship. And if Leitzel beats Hunt, and the same thing about Wilcox, then Leitzel will get 3rd in the championship. But it's going to be a dead tie. Hunt and Leitzel sitting completely even heading into the final moto of the year for 3rd. Trevor Burns into the final turn, picks up 3rd in this moto. Great ride for him. Ethan Gerst survived the advances there from Luke Sullivan and eventually Wilcox as well. He is going to pick up 4th, barring a disaster in this last turn. So down the final straightaway for Wilcox. A couple of mistakes really cost him this moto. And he'll end up there in 6th place. Matherly comes down to pick up 7th. Johan Bordeaux will get 8th in this moto. Cochran going to be P9. Lane Wofford rounds it out the top 10, unless Alec Horn has something to say about it in these last 2 turns. So Horn ends up 11th there. Shirley is going to come through and finish in 12th. And his teammate Nygren follows him home in 13th. Braden Carter ends up 14th in this moto. Tyler Shields will get 15th. P16 for Chris Post. Maxime Vanderbeek. Oh, Gatlin puts him down. So Gatlin ends up 17th. Vanderbeek will pick it up in 18th spot. And Nathan Prynn, disaster of a moto for him, ends up 19th. Cuts are in. Let's take a look. 20th, by the way, was James Wilcox. And wow, nothing changed inside of the top 20. Logan Leitzel, your big winner here in 250 Moto 1 at Hangtown. All right, back into intermission as we await for 450 Moto 1 to come up next. Kellen Brower in studio bringing you guys the action here tonight. And we're ready to see some more battling, but the 450 class means maybe a little bit more tonight because the championship fight is still up for grabs. Alexis Leclerc enters 10 points up on Tyler Lang. Lang went 1-1 last week at Fox Raceway 2. So if he can repeat that again tonight, then Leclerc needs to finish on the podium in both motos. If he goes 3-4, 4-3, 5-2, I think even, not going to be enough to get it done. So he has got to get up there, try to get up onto the box. And yeah, Gonna be a lot of fun to figure things out. Shout out Tucker Francis for giving me the official points, because I know that Lightsell and Hunt are tied, but they are both on 325 points for third now, with Wilcox 3 back on 322. So good to see that that's where we're at going into the final moto. Wilcox 3 back, Lightsell and Hunt tied. Invincible Membrane says, why is there 2 laps added and not 1? Good question. It's been that way for a very, very long time. Back in the 80s, they used to do 45-minute motos, but with no extra laps. It'd just be 45 and then the checkers. So when they shortened it, I think they wanted it to still be, you know, grueling, long, and have some sort of tangible, you know, finite line, I guess. So they did 30 plus 2 because they still ended up being 35 to 40-minute motos, so they were still fairly long. But I don't know why it wasn't 35 plus 1 or 32 plus 1 or whatever. 30 plus 2 is just the way it's been for like 3 decades at this point. Yep, Payson's in the 450 class tonight, going up against the likes of Leclerc, Lang, and the rest of them. So we'll see how he does. What are the prizes for winning the 450 championship? They used to be really cool prizes, quite honestly, but it's tailored down a little bit. Now you just get what are called nobbies, which helps you purchase passes and do some things on RaceFactoryGaming.com. Back in the day, 2013 champion won a fully custom, I think it was a EVS helmet, and it like had a bunch of, you know, Race Factory logos and stuff on it. Somebody, I think whoever finished second, got a full custom set of fly gear. Somebody won a full custom set of MX graphics. They used to be really cool, quite honestly, but not so much anymore. Just about bragging rights anymore. Jay-Z Joker says, hey, Kellen, how are you? Hoping Lang does very good so he can win the championship. I'm doing great, and I do hope that Lang makes things interesting tonight for sure. It'd be a little bit sad to see Leclerc just walk at home both motos. I hope Lang can get up there and make it interesting for sure. But yeah, that's the situation. As mentioned, 10-point gap for Leclerc heading into the final moto, trying to stamp an unprecedented 5th Pro Motocross Championship in this game. 2014, 18, 19, 20, and potentially 21 tonight for Leclerc. Incredible. Nobody's been a 5-time champion in this game, so that would be quite impressive. What else we got? Everybody just kind of hanging out. KR Money's here. Harrison Henry. Jaron Thompson. Jet Holyhead is here. Ryan Swanson equals kill me is what he says. Not having a good time there with Ryan Swanson. Yes, indeed, Leclerc did clinch the MXGP World Championship on Monday night at Argentina. So he is a back-to-back world champion now. Believe that is his 3rd MXGP World title. One in 2018, I think, and now 2020 and 21. So we get ready to drop the gate here in 450 Moto 1. And Lang, it's going to be interesting to see how he does tonight. Here is the number 14 machine. Leclerc has been pretty good so far this week. He was nearly unbeatable in Argentina, so Lang has really got to go to the drawing board and figure something out tonight. But Leclerc was 2 seconds faster than anybody in qualifying, so that's going to be quite interesting. All right. Let us go back to the live screen and get ready to drop the gate here in 450 Moto 1 at Hangtown. I see this Liam Sorgan guy in chat with just the worst attitude. I hate people that act like because someone doesn't ride, because they ride better than them or whatever, that you can't also love motocross and be a fan of it. I hate those people, honestly, because it doesn't help promote the sport at all. F1, I don't see a bunch of people going and driving a Formula 1 car on the weekend, but you can still be a fan of the sport. And then this guy's all like, oh, none of you plebs ride. How about Wilson freaking Fleming in here having a good time watching the races tonight? Race Pro Supercross this year did pretty good, you know. I think these guys all here that are watching this race or even competing in this race are pretty damn good on a dirt bike. So I hate people with that attitude. It's super annoying. But anyway, let's get back to the action here on screen, because that's the good stuff. None of this other crap that this guy's pouring out of his keyboard. All right, where is Leclerc? Where was the defending champ looking like tonight? Rocking the gold setup. Feeling confident. Will he continue to reign with the defending championship again next year? Or is Lang going to finally steal that number 1 plate away from him? Leclerc has been the keepsake of that number 1 plate for the last 3 years, trying to make it 4 tonight. And Tyler Lang would desperately like to have something to say about that. Keep an eye on Lang on the start because I feel like Leclerc usually gets good ones. So Lang is going to be a key, I feel like, in this one. He's up the inside. He and Leclerc are alongside of each other, and this is going to get good. Who is going to win the championship tonight in the 450 class? Let's drop the gate at Hangtown. Lang gets the job. Leclerc's down. Leclerc is into the SpongeBob into the first turn. Getting the hole shot is Brock Pearson. Pearson picks up the Studio 8 hole shot award. Lang got a bit of a jump and nudged everybody up the inside. Leclerc got completely shut down and went into the SpongeBobs. Lang comes through in second place, going up the hill on the first lap. Eaglin's right there. O'Brien, Janice, all in the mix. Magnetti, some heavy competition as Magnetti goes down. That causes a bit of a stack up. Trying to see if Leclerc comes through in this mix at all. He was completely in the SpongeBobs, and he's laying it down right there up the inside again. So Leclerc getting stacked up in the back of this pack. He had to cut through the inside of the corner right there to find his way through. He's now up into 23rd. But he did cut the track quite a bit, so he's definitely going to get cuts from that. And another thing he's going to have to deal with is there is a lot of underground RC riders in the mix here. Pearson leads. Lang trying to go to the front before the first lap is over. Scrubs it down up the hill. He's going to try to get a nose up the inside, but Pearson shuts the door. Wow, this is going to get interesting. Look at this. Lang pulls up alongside Pearson. And he's going to try to hold it on to the outside. Turns to the inside here, but Pearson defends the line well. Well, we thought there'd be some shenanigans tonight, perhaps, with Payson Johnson moving up to ride the 450 class. But instead, it happens right off the gate, and it's actually started by Tyler Lang. Lang goes defensive, crosses over on Pearson, and Lang goes to the lead here at Hangtown. Boy, oh boy, this is going to be something. We have got to figure out where Leclerc is and how far up the field he is going to make it. A lot of riders down here on the backside of this table. Here is Leclerc now. In a group, he's behind Adam Holm. Rider getting up. Leclerc has to come to a near stop, and riders are starting to swarm around him a little bit. It's getting dicey. And now Leclerc goes deep in the corner. He's on the wrong side of the track, trying to get it going again. And, oh man, he had to cut the track a little bit back to get on again, so that's going to result in cuts later on. 26th place for the Frenchman. He's going to go to 25th, maybe 24th, now 23rd. He's not quite got it locked down just yet. He's got someone up the inside here. That's a 63 of Castellaneta. Also, Lang's teammate. And you betcha he is not going to race Leclerc probably like he will race anybody else tonight. He is going to defend those insides hard and make Leclerc really work for it. But how about Castellaneta making a pass? Goes around Austin Bear. Leclerc sneaks up the inside of Bear through the first corner complex, but Bear holds it on the outside. Tries to go to the inside again. Leclerc shoves it into the corner. A little mistake. And this is all about, this is a lot like watching Jet Lawrence have to come through the field this weekend. First moto problems, getting together with riders. Chaos on the start. Leclerc getting tossed around a little bit. Now gets into another rider, and he's sliding all the way down the hill. He finally lays it down. Loses 4 or 5 more spots. Oh, man, this is crunch time with Lang pulling away to the tune of 2.5 seconds out front already. And remember, there is a lot of very good riders between Leclerc and the front of the field. This is not like the GPs. There is a lot of talented guys that don't race the GPs as Leclerc. Oh, he gets put off the inside of the track by, who was that? That was, I don't even know who that was. Caden Speck. And Leclerc, he narrowly avoided disaster, but again, off the track, probably got some cuts out of it. And still trying to make passes. He has not gotten around, well, he's going to make the pass right there. Another rider was down. Oh, but he's down! He gets together, and there's more crashing. Wow. Oh, and Leclerc gets landed on again by Robert Wilson. So guys in the back of the pack might not have a spotter helping them here, apparently. And Leclerc remounts in 36th, 2 spots ahead of the man in dead last. It's Ashton Rakowski right now. And Leclerc has got so much work to do, not only to pass some very talented riders, but time-wise, he's lost so much time towards the front of the group. Now gets together with another rider, maybe pushing the pace a little bit too much. Wow. This is quite incredible. Back here with Caleb Hall now. He's got to try to get Walter Gebhardt, Reed Young, Peter Like, Jet Wisdom, Robert Wilson. Wilson was the rider who he had come together with there on that off-camber, or the blind jump really is what it is. You just can't see anybody on the back side of it. So if a rider's down and you don't have a spotter telling you there's a rider down in the middle of the track there, you just can't see it, even with the yellow flags waving. These guys don't usually slow down for yellow flags. They wait for someone to tell them if there's somebody actually in the way or not. And so that has made life awfully difficult for Leclerc. And I hate to do this and stick back with Leclerc and watch this, because I know there's some terrific rides and battles going on up the road, but this is the championship picture unfolding as we watch it with our own 2 eyes here. Leclerc has to gain points in this moto to some tune, essentially. Remember, Lang was only 10 points back, so Leclerc, if he finishes 6th or worse in this moto, Lang takes over the championship lead. It's still Pearson. Johnson is up to 3rd. The 250 champion Eagland is up there. Blake O'Brien, Janis, another underground RC rider. Mills, Dylan Smith, Brody Barton, J.R. Reyes inside the top 10. Chase Donovan, Jeremy Siebold, Brandon Larson, Jack Haley, John Heilman inside the top 15. Adam Holm is 16th. Braden Castellaneta, another underground rider there, in 17th. Austin Bear in 18th. Chase Blakely is 19th. Lawson Dye rounds out the top 20. Then you got Jeffrey Bruns for atom.com. Brett Thomas, Bob Joe, and then Alexis Leclerc. And want to give you guys an indication to kind of take a look here. So Leclerc is, let's say, 6-7 corners before the finish line jump. He still has maybe 40 seconds till he's at the actual finish line jump right now. 30 to 40 seconds, we'll give it that. Meanwhile, Lang has already crossed the finish line jump, and he's about 3 or 4 corners into the lap already in the lead. So like I said, it's not even necessarily about passing riders at this point. Leclerc needs to pass riders, of course. But the time he has to gain as he jumps off track again and gets shoved out there by Brett Thomas, or excuse me, Bob Joe. Bob Joe is not going to take any of that from Leclerc jumping off the track and trying to make a pass on my watch. But yeah, it's the time that he has to make up. He has to make up a ton of time, as now Leclerc scoots through on Bob Joe into 22nd place. I mean, even to get, let's say he wants to get up into the top 5 in this moto. There's Lang. Johnson now into 2nd. Eagland, another underground RC rider, in 3rd. Pearson 4th. Here's 5th place, Matthias Janis. And let's just give you guys an indication of how far Leclerc has to go as Matthias Janis comes up the hill here. So as he goes through the roller section, we'll just stick to this location and watch. So Dylan Smith in 6th. Coming through there in 7th. I actually don't know who that is. 8th should be D Mills. They're in the 15. 9th here, that's And catch the number. There's Seabolt. There's Haley. This is Brandon Larson. Don't have the skins. There's Adam Holm. There's Castellaneta getting together. The 64, I think that's Bear. A couple other riders. There's Blakely. And then Leclerc. So there's Leclerc. I mean, just time-wise, again, see how far down he is. He's up to 20th, though, so he's getting a point this moto. He would lose 24 points this moto. He'd be 14 back of Lang as it finished right now. But, of course, he still has plenty of time left. He has 20 minutes and a couple laps on the clock to try to make it happen. Going to pull up alongside of the 552 of JR Reyes to go into 19th. So Leclerc now gaining 2 points this moto, but needs to finish 6th to at least tie Lang if Lang is going to go on and take this win. And again, Lang has help. Eagland and Johnson are the 2 riders behind him. He has literally teammates to do some blocking for him if he needs it. So that is Donovan, excuse me, I thought it was Bear. Donovan going down. And Leclerc moves up to 18th. Now scoring 3 points. Lawson Dye, the next rider ahead of him. It's going to go around him. 17th spot. This is now 4 points for him. So he would lose 21 points in this moto and sit 11 points back of Lang as it stands. Continue to try to update as it goes on. I mean, even if he gets, let's just say he gets inside the top 5, right? Let's say he gets up to 4th or something like that. He'll retain a 3-point lead in the championship going into the final moto. And again, it kind of boils down to who beats who at that point, even to get into 4th. Because if you look at it, Johnson and Eagland up there with Lang, I mean, top 3 seems pretty hard for Leclerc at this point. So this is set up just a completely different dynamic that we're going to be looking at heading into the final moto. It has certainly become way different for what's going to happen in the final moto. But Leclerc is now catching Chase Blakely for 16th. And another rider down off the side of the track. That was Larson. Ah, dang it, I pressed the wrong button. It's Larson that went down, so Leclerc does go into 16th, so now he's battling Blakely for 15th. Now picking up 5 points is Leclerc, trying to make it 6 to get around Blakely here. But again, the talent that he's got to go through, Blakely is not exactly a slouch by any means. So Leclerc goes inside. Tried that move on the earlier laps, and it cost him a lot. So maybe being a little bit better there. Oh, that's Holm down. Holm goes down to allow Leclerc through into 15th. Now he's trying to go to 14th on Blakely. Blakely blows the corner. And Leclerc goes to 14th now. And I just noticed Janice has moved up to 4th. So you have Underground RC riders 1, 2, 3, 4 in this race. As Leclerc moves to P14. He did a 2:16.6 last time by. He went faster than everybody on the last lap to do that 2:16.6. Follows up with a 2:17.2. Next up, Jack Haley, former 450 Supercross champion, 250 national champion. And then, perhaps, another problem ahead of that for Leclerc in the form of Underground RC's Braden Castellaneta. But he just went off the track, so he is going to have to rejoin still ahead of Leclerc here. He does so. But now Leclerc is obviously a lot closer. This is going to be for 13th. Leclerc riding that rear tire down this straightaway, trying to catch up as much as possible. Up the step up, Castellaneta, right in defensive, but a mistake off the inside of the track, and Leclerc goes by. So Castellaneta, who was trying to tuck to the inside of the bottom of the hill here 4 or 5 laps ago that forced Leclerc off a little bit, now has no fight back against the Frenchman, and Leclerc goes up into 13th. He is now gaining 8 points in this moto. which means he is losing 17 and would be at a 17-point deficit, or a 7-point deficit, I should say, going into the final moto of the year. Next up ahead of him, John Heilman, the number 71 Covenant machine, or the 73, excuse me. Leclerc going to try to go up the inside here of Heilman. I mean, give Leclerc credit where credit's due. As much as the chaos at the beginning of this race was just that, really, chaos, he settled down very nicely into a solid pace and has started to make some good quick passes. Trying to get to the inside here of Heilman. Not quite enough yet, though. This is for 12th and 9 points for Leclerc this moto if he can get it done. Tries to go inside. Heilman jumps off the track, and Leclerc is into 12th place. Still Haley ahead of him in 11th. Blake O'Brien runs in 10th. Brody Barton in P9. Jeremy Seabolt runs in 8th. Dylan Smith is 7th. Daniel Mills is in 6th. Brock Pearson is still in 5th place. Here is Janis, though, which I think is the marker for Leclerc. I think this is where he wants to get to if he can. If he were able to get into 4th place in this moto, as mentioned, he would hold on to the championship lead by 3 points going into the final moto. If he gets to Mills in 5th, he would have the championship lead by a single point. But as we go back to him here, he has still got some time to make up and some riders to pass to even start thinking about that possibility. But so far, his ride has been incredible through the field. And he's got a bit of a favor ahead of him right now, in that he is not catching riders one at a time, but this is a 3-rider group that he's catching up to. Brody Barton there with Jack Haley peeking up the inside. So Haley, with Leclerc pushing from behind, is making passes at the same while as Leclerc is trying to do so as well. Leclerc down the outside here. He's been so good into this corner. Just holds it on. Makes the pass on Brody Barton. Barton, almost landed on him. But that puts Leclerc up into 11th. So he's now scoring 10 points, I believe it is, for running in 11th spot. And the gap now would just sit down to 5 points over T. Lang heading into the final moto, or excuse me, Lang over Leclerc heading into the final moto. Rider down. That is Dylan Smith. So Leclerc goes to 10th, and he is now scoring 11 points. Oh, Haley gets together, and that's going to help Leclerc a ton. Blake O'Brien, overzealous, trying to get back into the rut. Leclerc makes a 2-for pass, goes to 8th. And Leclerc is now scoring 13 points by running in 8th spot. Next up, Mills and Seabolt, then Pearson for 5th. And you know what? It's not impossible to believe he could get to Janis, who is now heading towards the off-camber. Leclerc is, give or take, 18 to 20 seconds behind Janis, I would put it at. But he's lapping, let's see, 17.3 versus Janis, doing a 20.5. He's lapping 3 seconds faster a lap right now than him. So with the 13 points he's gaining right now, it's down to just a 2-point advantage for Lang. Mills tosses it away, and now it's just a 1-point advantage as Leclerc goes into 7th place. He is 3 seconds down on 6th, which would put him at a dead tie with Lang going into the final moto. If Lang is able to hold on to the win, which it looks like he is rather easily going to be able to do, I think. I just don't envision a situation where his teammates behind him don't let him win this moto, essentially. But now Leclerc, just like with Haley, has another heavy hitter to get through in the form of 2020 Supercross champion Jeremy Seabolt. Seabolt has not been his self outdoors this year, not been the pace he would like to be, but it is still someone that Leclerc is not necessarily going to blow right by. He'll probably catch him kind of quickly based on his lap times, but Seabolt's crafty, and we'll see how this one plays out. in a battle for 6th place. Meanwhile, Payson Johnson's gone to the lead on Lang by 3 seconds. Now Seabolt makes a mistake. Everybody just making tons of mistakes tonight. And Seabolt puts up little fight, it seems, to get back around Leclerc. He's trying to go outside to in. Now back to the outside, turns to the inside at the bottom of the hill here, but Seabolt and Leclerc are pretty good buds if I remember right, so I don't think he's making this difficult for him at all. So Leclerc, not even 20 minutes into the moto, has made it up to 6th, and actually, with Lang not leading this race, has pulled ahead back in the championship to the tune of 3 points. Lang gaining 22 points in this moto, Leclerc picking up 16. So obviously that is a Leclerc picking up 15, excuse me. So that's a 7-point swing in Lang's favor, down from 10 to 3. But Leclerc still has his eyes up ahead of him towards Pearson. Here is Janice, though. Pearson's 13.7 down, but it's going to go out even more than that as he rejoins the track. None of these guys are having a good moto right now, to be fair. I think Leclerc is getting a little bit of things handed to him because these guys are just riding bad. But to his credit, he is not losing any opportunities at all. He has not gotten close to somebody and crashed or anything like that. He's kept it right on 2 wheels. He's running ridiculously fast lap times. And now Brock Pearson is a bit of a sitting duck here. So this will guarantee that Leclerc will not lose the championship lead this moto if he can get around Pearson into the top 5. And then the pressure really, I think, falls onto Matthias Janis's shoulders. Because Janis just has to ride kind of flawlessly down the stretch here to keep Leclerc behind him. Leclerc is riding a maniacal pace, trying to get there. 2:15.9 last time by, ridiculous. So he's a second behind Pearson. 15.8 seconds up the road is Janis. So it is basically 17 seconds from Leclerc to Janis, which is the real battle we got to keep an eye on unless Leclerc goes down. Trying to get up the inside here of Pearson into 5th place. Look at this outside line, turns to the inside, and Pearson made a mistake. Leclerc, oh, he's down! He's down, and he gets dragged by Pearson. Seabolt hits him. Oh, that's going to cost him a ton of time. It cost him 2 spots as well, as he drops back to 7th. So picking up 14 points for 7th place right now. He wants to get back to Seabolt as Janis almost lays it down. Here's Eagland and Lang just ahead of him. Johnson's pulling away out front. And I'm kind of shocked to see this, especially given that Johnson's even running Lang's bike. I thought for sure the reason Johnson was going to move up tonight was to help Lang. In reality right now, he's kind of hurting him. Because even, let's just say Johnson's not here and Leclerc gets 4th in this moto instead, Lang winning the moto would still pick up more points than he is right now by finishing 2nd, even if Leclerc gained an extra spot because Johnson's not on the track. So, interesting dynamic with teammates here, and I wonder if Payson elects to pull over at any point or just slows down. And I'm honestly surprised that it's turned to the direction it has. I know people don't love the team tactics thing or whatever, but I mean, Underground RC has a plethora of riders to try to help out Lang win this title, and it's kind of surprising to see they're not going to choose to do so, at least so far. We'll see. We still have 7 minutes on the clock in this moto, and Leclerc is knocking on the door to try to get back around Seabolt into 6th place. So with Lang in 2nd and Leclerc down in 7th, that's an 8-point swing, but it's now going to go back down to a, well, Leclerc moves up to 6th, which is now 15 points. So a 7-point swing in Lang's favor by finishing 2nd in this moto. Which means that Leclerc retains the points lead as it is. But it still remains to be seen what is going to happen out front. And Pearson is still right there. So Leclerc is, the lap after he crashed and Brock Pearson dragged him through that corner, already caught back up to the Aussie. And what is in play a little bit here, as Lang is now within a second of Johnson out front. So I'm not sure if Johnson slowed down or went down. But another thing to think about here is Pearson, Australian, Leclerc, French. I mean, they are very other side of the world from each other right now. And this server is pretty far from both of them that we're playing on. So the lag involved with a pass attempt here, I feel like is about as big as it's going to get for two riders with decent internet. But Pearson made a little mistake, and Leclerc is going to waste no time to shoot into 5th place. So Leclerc back into P5. Janice 17.8 seconds up the road with 5 minutes and 2 laps to go for Leclerc. 16.1 versus a 21.8 last time by. Leclerc gained 5 seconds the last lap alone up to Janice. And I feel like that gap is going to come down in a hurry unless Janice just tries to pick up the pace just a little bit more. But obviously don't crash as well. Johnson has lost the lead. Lang is back to the front. So Lang back to the front, and it sounds like Johnson may have had a problem with a lapped rider. He has gone back to 3rd. Eagland is still tailing Lang. Janice there in 4th, and Leclerc in 5th. As it stands right this very second, Leclerc would hold a 1-point lead going into the final moto of the year. It is quite literally, if it finishes this way, going to be whoever beats who in the second moto between Lang and Leclerc. And I'll tell you what, folks, we don't get that very often in MX Simulator racing. The last time I can really remember it happening was Adam Holm versus Leclerc for the 2018 title, the first of Leclerc's 3 straight titles back then. And Holm and Leclerc, for those of you that remember, had a hell of a battle in the final moto of the year. And it came down to whoever beat who, and they literally took each other out in the final corner of the year, battling for second place. And Leclerc, got it done on Holm. Holm went defensive up the inside, trying to block Leclerc. Leclerc punted him out of the way. Holm fell off the bike. Leclerc did not, though he did tip over. And Leclerc finished just ahead of Holm by about 5 seconds, which ultimately ended up winning the 2018 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship. Matthias Janice is the man that has so much hanging in the balance and he goes down. That is critical. He is going to lose 10 seconds right here, and suddenly Leclerc is going to be so much closer. It is going to drop down to 4 seconds under that, surely. Down almost, yeah, exactly 4 seconds, and Janice, wow. This is huge. This is another 2 points for Leclerc, and massive 2 points. It still is only going to be 3 points of an advantage going to the final moto if he gets around Janice here to get up into that 4th position. But it's massive. Because in that case, if Leclerc finishes 2nd in the final moto and Lang gets 3rd, Leclerc's your champ. Or even if Lang wins the final moto and Leclerc gets 2nd, Leclerc has a tiebreaker. So this pass, if Leclerc can get it done, is massive. That's him lapping Caleb Hall. We've got 2 minutes left on the clock. These guys just checked in out front, Lang. And so we should be getting the 2-lap board next time by. Lang has teammate Payson Johnson behind him now, then Eagland. There's Janice. And here comes Leclerc from 5th. He has worked around Jet Wisdom, who is a lap down. And now Leclerc has 3 laps essentially right here to run down and catch Matthias Janice. This is not for championships just yet. But these points will be so critical heading into the final moto of the year if he can get Janis. To Janis's credit, I mean, he did pick up the pace since that crash. 28 dead. He pretty much ran his fastest lap with a crash that he could. And it's at exactly 4 seconds still, so he's trying so hard to keep Leclerc behind him. And if Leclerc catches him too, like we saw earlier with Castaneda, Leclerc has to pass him. This is not just catch him and yeah, it's going to be easy, he'll just blow by him. I mean, he has blown by some guys, but Janis's pace is not such that Leclerc is just going to blow right by him and it's not going to mean anything. He really is going to have to work to get this one. And Janis, I'm assuming at least, is probably not going to make it too easy for him as things tighten up. It's a 4.8 second lead for Lang as he is about 3 corners away from getting the 2-lap board. Janis, man, he's going to ride the wheels off this underground RC Kawasaki. So here is Lang in the race lead in 450 Moto 1 as time has expired. Tyler Lang going to get the 2-lap board here in 2 turns. Johnson is still trying to reel him in. Eaglin's back here. And then this Janis Leclerc battle. This is the key to what will lead into 450 Moto 2. Leclerc is not going to get those 3 guys out front. 4th is the best he can hope for. But what a ride it would be to come from 36th about 2 or 3 laps into this race to maybe get 4th. And you want to talk about salvaging. This is it right here. This is championship salvage to the umpteenth degree. And man, Janis is right there. So these guys have 2 laps to make it happen as well. Janis working around lap traffic. Oh, the rear end kicked out right there, and he nearly went right over that rut. But Leclerc is on him. Nearly nothing in it between the two. Under a second. Leclerc sensing the opportunity. And Janis is just trying to ride the wheels off this Kawasaki. This is where he's made a mistake before. Let's see how good he is here. Pretty solid. Actually, very solid. Now tucks to this outside line to carry momentum. Leclerc will follow him through. And Janis is just holding him at arm's length. He is not letting him get too close. Leclerc a little bit better through there, though. Pearson is too far back that if these two collided, he would catch them. So here we go. Leclerc trying so hard to get right up there to Janis. And Lang went down. So Eagland and Johnson went by, but then Johnson went down. So Lang is going to get back around Johnson. And even if there's beef, between Johnson and Lang, Lang is back ahead of him again heading into the final lap. I'd have to imagine Eagland lets him go. Battle for 4th between Janis and Leclerc. Man, I don't think Matthias Janis thought of himself as ending up being so critical for this championship. Leclerc crosses over right in front of him, puts him off the edge of the track. That is not going to make Janis happy. Look at this. He's going straight in, and he takes him down. Obvious team tactics there, but that is what Leclerc does. I talked about it in a video a few months back. Leclerc, he just doesn't give you an inch. So if I'm Janis there, straight up for a battle in a race situation, I would not have been very happy with Leclerc's maneuver right there at all. And I get why Leclerc has to do it because of the team tactics involved here and what's at stake. But, man, if I'm Janis as a single rider here, not team situation, I don't know if I would have gone in that hard. But I definitely would not have been thrilled with Leclerc's tactic right there, just personally speaking. So Leclerc does actually get the pass done into 4th place. Janis is still there, but it seems unlikely he'll catch him. And Eagland has either let Lang go or went down. Johnson gets back around Eagland to move into 2nd place again. Lang is trying to hold on the final lap of the race. Whoa, getting a little kick there. 2.4 seconds. I don't know. It seems like Johnson doesn't want Lang to win this race. Ah, yes, fair point, too, that Leclerc might have cuts. But then, you know, Janice, he might get protested from this. I don't think Johnson wants Lang to win this race. Look at how fast he's caught him. And a little mistake right there allows Lang to get back away. Man, you can see that Janice thing coming for him. Oh! What happened? Leclerc back behind Janice. Wow, okay, so Leclerc must have tossed it away by himself. Johnson went down. That is Lang's race for the taking now. No chance England passes his teammate here. But, I mean, you could be mad at Janice, but Leclerc was ahead of him and then threw it away. But, wow. This championship, what a dramatic first 450 moto. And in the end, it's going to be won by Lang. When he needed to get it done, I mean, he's having some help from the teammates, no question about it. But Tyler Lang takes 450 Moto 1 at Hangtown. Emphatically so. England, I think, is purposely slowing down right here to not be too close for cuts. 7.2 seconds at the flag. Johnson is kind of messing around, but he should get third here. So Johnson picks up third, and Janice is almost certainly going to get fourth, unless he crashes again. But yeah, I don't know what happened that caused Leclerc to be so far down on him suddenly. He must have crashed. So Janice ends up fourth, but he is the talk of the town right now. I'm almost certain the chat is probably not too thrilled with that, but we'll leave it at that and not see too many F-bombs on the stream. Leclerc crosses in fifth, and Haley is going to be pretty close to Leclerc in sixth. How far? 6.1. You know, Leclerc, he cut the track a decent bit at the beginning of the race. I'm very curious to see if he drops to sixth. Remember, it'll be a dead tie going into the final moto. Holm in eighth. Siebolt will end up in ninth. Magnetti ends up in P10. Mills and Blakely going at it for 11th. Blakely tried to throw it in there in that second to last turn, and it just didn't quite work. Oh, Blakely threw it into the last corner. Mills ends up 11th. Blakely will be 12th. Blake O'Brien 13th. Braden Castellaneta 14th. John Heilman will get 15th here. Caden Speck 16th. Jeffrey Bruns 17th. A little wayward. Chase Donovan down here in 18th. And Brody Barton will be 19th. The last rider on the lead lap there. Dylan Smith was 20th. So we'll wait for Barton to bring it through. Oh, Caden Speck went down, actually. So excuse me. Jeffrey Bruns moves to 16th here. .16th for Bruns, Donovan, and Speck. Contact into the final turn between the both of them. And Brody Barton is not going to be close enough to get there, but who gets up first? It's going to be a drag race to the finish. It is going to be Speck over Donovan by 0.38. And Brody Barton ends up 19th. Cuts are in. Wow, Leclerc did get cuts, but he retains the 5th position as Lang gets the win in 450 Moto 1. Well, Leclerc finishes 5th and has a 1-point lead going into the final moto. Unbelievable. And Leclerc obviously in chat frustrated. That champ is S-bias, he says. Has his friends punt me. But again, I'll just put the caveat out there. I don't think what Janice did was fair at all. Way too aggressive. However, if I'm in his shoes, even if I'm not on Lang's team, I'm putting Leclerc over that berm. I hate when people ride like that. I hate when they leave you literally no room, even though I know Leclerc had to ride like that. But to go from the far right side of the track to the very far left side of the track, there was no room. He put him into the, you're either going into the hay bales or we're crashing, essentially. That is exactly why I put Leclerc over a berm in 2013. And personally, if I had the chance, I would have done it in 2021. But way over the top for Janice. That was too much to go that hard in. You have to make the corner if you're going to put him down. So I would not be opposed at all to a protest and penalty of some sort for Janice there. Just saying what I would have done if I was in his shoes. Anyway, we have a hell of a championship battle to wrap this thing up tonight. But 250 Moto 2 is coming up first, so we're going to get through that. But please, any of you watching, there's 194 of you guys. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell everybody. Tune in for that second 450 Moto. It's going to be nuts. All right, like I said, though, 250 Moto 2 coming up first, so gotta settle down for just a minute. All right, here we go. 250 Moto 2 coming up. All right, here we go. Final 250 Moto of the year. And third place is still up for grabs. We have a dead tie for third between, where the heck are they? This man, Cooper Hunt, and where's the other one? Where'd he go? This man, Logan Leitzel. So Leitzel and Cooper Hunt on 325 points even. And this man right here is 3 points behind them. So Wilcox can still get third in the championship. He entered third in the championship coming into tonight. He can still get it done, but is going to need probably a little bit of help. Man, this is... I'm like, this 250 Moto is sick, and I want to watch it, but I'm just like so jived. I'm ready for the 450 Moto. This final Moto of the year is going to be legendary. But first, like I said, we got to get through 250 Moto 2 first. All right, there we go. Get you guys revved up and ready to go. Who's going to win the overall and who's going to come third in this championship? It's 250 Moto 2 here at Hangtown. There's some contact coming into the first corner again. It's a Honda versus a Yamaha. Casey Cochran picks up the Studio 8 hole shot by a knobby at most, as he was alongside Cade Matherly, but moving into second place right away is Cooper Hunt. He's where he needs to be. Leitzel's up here as well. And so is Wilcox. So all three of our men battling for third in this championship are right at the sharp end of the field on the first lap of the race. So Wilcox now goes to the lead ahead of Leitzel. Cochran, Cooper Hunt up here in fourth. And Leitzel shoots down the inside to take the race lead. Logan Leitzel trying to go 1-1 here tonight at the finale and stamp third place in the championship on top of it. Takes over the race lead. Remember, Wilcox was 3 points behind him entering this moto. But Leitzel has the tiebreaker. Leitzel has more wins, I believe. Wilcox has a moto win, but I'm pretty sure Leitzel would, if he went 1-2 tonight, would win the overall. So that's a tiebreaker in and of itself. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. Let's see whether Wilcox can latch on. It does seem like Cooper Hunt's already lost a spot to Matherly again for fourth. The lights are already starting to pull away. Wilcox, Cochran, after getting the whole shot, made a little mistake, lost the lead, but still sits here in third, trying to move his way back into second place. Then it is indeed Cade Matherly coming through in fourth place. Cooper Hunt, Braden Carter, all at the sharp end of the field. Carter's got a much better start this time, so he'll be thrilled with that. See how Cade Matherly does starting with the leaders this time. Him and Cochran were battling just inside of the top 10, remember, in the first moto. But Matherly starting out front, going to be fun to watch what he can do with the competitive start. The number 100 stance Honda rider. Wilcox nearly puts his arm to the side of the track there and bounces it off the banners, but continues on, still in a decent position. He's trying to close up, but he's actually losing a little bit of ground lap by lap already on Leitzel. Cochran slipping back to Matherly. Here's Hunt and Carter in a tight-knit group, battling it out for essentially third place. They work their way up the hill here. And Leitzel has just come on so strong at the end of this season. It seems like nobody really except his teammate Johnson, who has now moved up to race the 450 class to this round, obviously, has maybe the pace to run with him straight up. Leitzel's qualifying speed has been tremendous. His race pace has also been top-notch. And he's kind of making it look rather easy out front right now. But there's always the potential for some early crashing to kick things off. Cooper Hunt, Braden Carter, Seth Carr. Seth Shirley with a little better start. Luke Sullivan as well. Stepping up to the top of the hill is Luke Sullivan. And dropping back down. So everybody already has a little bit of running room to work with here. There's not a lot of close fights right at the front just yet. I think everybody's still kind of jockeying for position. Maybe this is our closest fight here. Hunt versus Matherly with Carter off the back for fourth place. So they weave through the first section of the track here. Oh, Hunt going long on that table. I thought he was going to OJ it. Still landed pretty well in transition. here we go, working our way up the hill. You can see Seth Carr is actually kind of keeping these guys honest. Hunt hasn't figured out the recipe on Matherly, and Carter is chomping at the bit to get through into the top 5 here. Charging down the hill to the outside, but Hunt was actually trying to check up and get to that middle rut. Got a little squirrely on landing. Carter, I think, has a better drive. Just not quite going to turn into something yet. Tight-knit little group here, though, for 4th place. And, hey, shout out Cade Matherly. Talked about it right at the beginning there. What can he do with a good start? And he is just keeping steady with these guys. He is not flustered whatsoever. In fact, he's pulled back away from Hunt a little bit, and Carter is really knocking on the door of the 38 machine here, so this could get a little more tight for 5th and less so for 4th. It seems like every time Carter gets a little closer, it kind of wakes Hunt back up again, and then he closes right back up to Matherly. So it's a yo-yo effect, and in turn, they are still pretty much the exact same distance we saw them apart last time. 21.4, 21.5, 21.5, and behind them a 20.6. So they pretty much ran identical lap times in this freight train. They're still just nose to tail. Nobody's moved yet. They're pushing the pace pretty well here, though. Seems like Seth Carr had closed up. Now these guys have picked it up just a little bit more, and they're closing up to Cochran ahead of him. Hunt thought about a dive up the inside, but then backed out. Carter goes to the inside of the top of the hill, but that doesn't work. And Hunt, again, hard on the brakes as Carter charges to the outside. Hunt goes to this middle rut, and it continues to kind of even out. It's a good fight, though. These guys are certainly not afraid to get really close with each other and continue this battle. Hunt pushes wide. Carter pulls up alongside. But then Hunt just shuts the door and goes outside of the bottom of the hill. They're definitely catching Cochran, though. And everybody's losing time all the while to the leaders. Cochran already 12 seconds off of race leader Logan Leitzel. About 7 seconds behind second place man Thomas Wilcox. Oh, mistake for Carter finally. Somebody has something happen. Carter pirouettes at the bottom of the hill and Seth Carr goes by. Coming up to the 10-minute mark of 250 Moto 2. Your race leader is still this man, Logan Leitzel. Leitzel on number 13 Underground RC Cowie has Thomas Wilcox tailing him. And as we talked about at the beginning of this moto, even if Wilcox catches and passes Leitzel, they would tie for 3rd in the championship, but I believe Leitzel has the tiebreaker. So Wilcox needs to hope for probably a couple of crashes out of Leitzel to lose the lead and then lose some more on top of that while Wilcox goes ahead to the front. Look at Hunt. He's going to try this inside line that Carter was using, but maybe not as comfortable with it because it was the first time he hit it, and he kind of bounced into the corner a little bit. Ooh, Seth Carr's off the side of the track. Rejoins right alongside Carter. But Carter does make that pass stick. Who's that down there? That is Cochran. So Cochran lays it down coming down the hill there. That allows Carter. Oh, here's Matherly and Hunt going toe-to-toe. Oh, Matherly whips it in his face. But Cooper Hunt controls the inside line right there in the end and makes that pass through into third place. And it's still Wilcox trying to tail Logan Leitzel. So we are 12 minutes into this 30-minute plus 2-lap 250 Moto 2 as Logan Leitzel continues to lead the way from Thomas Wilcox. Cooper Hunt sits in third. Cade Matherly is in fourth. And Braden Carter lays it down in fifth. Now, it's quite interesting to see how this battle for third in the championship has been seemingly almost identical to what we watched on Monday night in the MX2 championship. And Leitzel also took home third in the championship there. But in that situation, he was battling Seth Shirley for third in the title. But basically have these three guys together again. And they all end up out front. So Wilcox, who entered 3 points behind Leitzel into this final moto, is going to lose another 3 points to him. And will be 6 points down. Whereas Hunt, who entered tied with Leitzel into the final moto, is going to lose 5 points, and leave 5 points behind Leitzel. So Hunt actually entered the evening fourth in the championship, and as it runs right now, he will leave fourth in the championship as well when the dust settles. But he will have gained a position on Wilcox, but lost a position to Leitzel to retain that position. So weird dynamic, but your three men battling for third in the championship are all right there in the mix. Behind him, though, is still Matherly, Carter, Cochran, Sullivan, Shirley, Carr, Nygren, McIntosh, Wilcox, Horn, Bordeaux, Vanderbeek, Saves, Melton, Thompson, Burns, Wofford, Hansen, Irvine, McLaughlin, Clark, Gatlin, Gers, Davis, Heinzelman, Payne, Swanson, Love, Thomasunis, Tharp, Stevenson, Shields, Gress, Post, and it appears like Nathan Prynne did not start this moto, unless I missed him. Yeah, no Nathan Prynne in this moto, so unfortunately the Frenchman looks like we are stamping his second place in the championship at, I believe it ends up being 74-point deficit to Payson Johnson, as neither rider is here tonight. And obviously third, fourth, and fifth move up quite a bit, but don't get close enough to actually pass either rider. Cooper Hunt is starting to reel in Wilcox just a little bit here. All right, I am back. Saying goodnight to my daughter there real quick. Apologies. But we are now halfway through 250 Moto 2 here at Hangtown, so let's give you guys a top 20 rundown brought to you by R-Jerky. Head over to eatrjerky.com and please use that code SYS20, SYS20 for 20% off your order. Great beef jerky, good flavors, and just such good stuff. I mean, seriously, you guys haven't tried beef jerky until you've had R-Jerky, I swear. So please head over there and use that code for 20% off your order at R-Jerky. Leading the race here, Hangtown Moto 2 in the 250 class, it's Logan Leitzel. On the Underground RC number 13 machine. Second place for Thomas Wilcox on the Phil Ski and Snowboard, backed by C4 Designs KTM, the number 33 machine in P2. Third, Cooper Hunt on the Underground RC number 38. Fourth for Cade Matherly on the Stance number 100. Fifth is Braden Carter on the Phil Ski and Snowboard number 19 machine. Sixth for Luke Sullivan on the Yogi Designs number 18 machine. Seventh for Seth Shirley on the atom.com number 441. Eighth for Casey Cochran on the BPC number 90. Ninth for Seth Carr on the Underground RC number 347. And P10 right now goes to Brandon Igren on the atom.com number 150. 11th for Alec Horn on the mobgraphics.com number 310. 12th is James Wilcox on the Phil Ski and Snowboard at number 74. 13th for Johan Bordeaux, the 394 Impact Kawasaki. Ahead of Rogan McIntosh on the mobgraphics.com number 89 in 14th spot. 15th for Trevin Thompson on the Cyber Designs number 151. 16th is Benjamin Saves here, rocking the number 24 machine. 17th for Maxime Vanderbeek on the Impact number 72. Then it's 18th for Trevor Burns on the Underground RC number 50. 19th for Daniel Irvine on the atom.com number 96. But now moving to 19th and taking Irvine to the ground is Lane Wofford on the Boots House 181. Wofford goes off the track immediately, and Jack Gatlin moves up to 19th on the BPC Yamaha number 369 as Irvine rounds out the top 20 here in 250 Moto number 2 at Hangtown, brought to you by R-Jerky. So back out front, still Leitzel with Wilcox, but Hunt is starting to close in, and it's now out to just 2 seconds. Oh, that was, who just went down right there? No, thought it was maybe one of the riders ahead of Cooper Hunt, but it was not. It's actually lost a little bit of ground, and closing up onto him now is Matherly again. The code is SYS20, so SYS20. I don't know if it's case sensitive. You might need to do capital SYS20 and gets you 20% off your order there. But hey, if you're using it right now, I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love when you find folks support the people who support me. Wagen Brothers are awesome. Got a chance to talk to them a lot these last couple weekends. And they're satisfied with the hookup here on the broadcast. Maybe not as many of you fine people have purchased it as I would like, but they're still happy to be aboard with us this year, and I want to make them happier. So please use that code and support them. They're the real MVPs here. They're the ones out there crushing it in pro motocross. I mean, seriously, if you didn't pick a Wageman brother in Pulp Fantasy this weekend, well, maybe you picked them the weekend before, but if you didn't pick them this weekend, you missed out because they crushed it both motos. I think Robbie went, what, 13 or 11-8 or something like that for 9th overall, some ridiculous. Absolutely ripped it. And we believe he ended up on number 69 for the second year in a row, which is quite hilarious. And then RJ, who really just kind of showed up at the last two nationals to have fun, ends up getting the 15th overall. I think he went 16-14 or something, and earned just enough points, we think, as well, to end up with number 99. So the Wageman brothers 69 and 99 next year. That'd be quite funny. Oh, look at this. Cooper Hunt has Braden Carter closing up on him. They're not too far behind Wilcox either. And if Carter gets around Hunt, then Wilcox gets 4th in the championship. And Hunt slides back to 5th by 1 point. So Hunt trying to deal with the pressure from behind. Carter is definitely right there. I think if you're Hunt here, what you really need to do is try to focus ahead and focus on catching Thomas Wilcox to really solidify this thing home. It's not going to be enough for Hunt at the moment with Leitzel leading to get 3rd in this championship, which is, unfortunately for Hunt, going to kind of be back-to-back whammies this week for him a little bit. He had a chance to win the MX2 world title on Monday in Argentina, and he just had one of those nights where nothing went his way. It was a complete disaster throughout, pretty much. And in the end, Payson Johnson clinched the MX2 world title in Argentina. So Hunt ended up 2nd in that title, and I'm sure he would love to end up 3rd here, entering 4th in the championship to go out at least a little bit happier. But not going to make it happen, and Carter just went down behind him. So really, Hunt's now in a pretty darn good position to at least hold on to a top 3 in this moto, but will he get Wilcox is the question. Let's go back and see if we find another battle somewhere. Yeah, here we go. Johan Bordeaux on Nygren. This is right at the end of the top 10, I think, right? Yeah, 10th and 11th. Bordeaux tries to go up the inside. It's before the old finish line jump here. Never really understood why they moved it, because it's not like that finish line jump was in a bad spot necessarily. Ooh, Bordeaux into the back tire there of Nygren, lays it down. And that's going to allow James Wilcox into the fray a little bit here. So he'll try to close up on Bordeaux. Meanwhile, behind him is Burns in 13th. And you got Alec Horn coming behind him. They're in 14th. So these guys at this point just trying to end the season with some decent points. A lot of these guys right here in this kind of mid-pack group are fighting for a few points here and there to see where they end up in a national number situation. Some of these guys will be in the 30s. Some of these guys will be in the 40s. I think Trevor Burns will probably be in the 30s. Alec Horn, I think, might be in the 60s or so. You got McIntosh, who's already 89 this year. Vanderbeek, 72. Benjamin Saves, I believe, is actually number 40, but running his EU setup tonight. Jack Gatlin also trying to score some points. So again, last moto of the year, really the last chance to you know, knock some more points off your docket and end up with a little higher national number if you could. As our top three continues to remain Leitzel, Wilcox, and Hunt, and it just remains pretty unchanged in that facet. Of course, if you're just joining us now, coming up in 5 to 10 minutes at this point, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of this one, is going to be the showdown of showdowns in the 450 class. It's been 3 years since we had a true winner-take-all final moto of the season. And if you were with us in 2018, you know how good that one was. We might have yet another one on our hands tonight, as Tyler Lang won the first moto. Leclerc, down in the first turn, had to come from 36th to end up 5th, but not without some drama as he tried to pass into 4th place. He and Lang's teammate Matthias Janis came together. Janis frustrated with Leclerc's maneuver and pretty much teed him up in the very next corner. Leclerc got up first and actually was ahead of Janis, but then crashed by himself somewhere later in the lap, and Janis was able to get back through. So Leclerc ended up 5th. He entered tonight 10 points up in the championship. After finishing 5th to Lang's victory, a 9-point swing in the favor of Lang brings it down to a single point going into the final moto of the year. What a save by Cooper Hunt. Wow. Hits the tough block and swaps back across the track, but does it while underflipping sideways. And just, man, one of those moments in sim where you perfectly pull it together. So lost a little bit of ground to Wilcox, but could have been a lot worse, given how topsy-turvy that moment was for Cooper Hunt. And at this point, I don't think any of these guys are catching Leitzel. It's really settled down throughout the field. We're not looking at many battles inside of the points even. Has some close ones here. Jack Gatlin and Vanderbeek. I mean, we're at the tail end of points here. 18th, 16th, 17th, and 18th pretty much in tow here. Onboard perspective from Jack Gatlin as he closes up on Vanderbeek, and that's Trevin Thompson just up the road from him. So we got an American, a Belgian, and a Brit, 16, 17, 18 respectively. Vanderbeek off the side of the track. Gatlin takes advantage to shoot by, so Vanderbeek now falls back behind the 369. Gatlin immediately going after Trevin Thompson ahead. Doolies. Gatlin goes wide here. 3 different lines used in this corner. Normally the line Vanderbeek just took is the better one, but Gatlin makes the outside work, at least temporarily, so I thought he was going to make the pass. Look at Vanderbeek shooting up the inside. Thompson pulls up alongside, but Gatlin does make that pass. Now Vanderbeek launches up the inside, and does he hit Thompson? No, he does not. That was a narrow escape for Trevin Thompson to move back by as Vanderbeek goes down. So, hey, we went and found ourselves a battle, and it ended up being a pretty good one. Got a little topsy-turvy there. Here's the man of the day, the man of the evening, really. Logan Leitzel. Out front here in 250 Moto 2, looking at a dominating 1-1 performance. We'll collect the 2-lap board this time by, as time has expired and just 2 laps remain here in the final 250 Moto of the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship season. Your champion, Payson Johnson, clinched last week at Fox Raceway 2 and elected to move up this week to race the 450 class, and did well for himself in the first moto to finish up 3rd. Actually led at one point And we're still confused as to whether or not he's here in the 450 class tonight, specifically to help his teammate Tyler Lang or not. Because in the first moto, it didn't exactly seem like it, but in the end, Lang still ended up beating him. And there's just so much riding on the start of this second moto, because if Leclerc has to come through the field again, boy, oh boy, are we in for one heck of a moto. I feel like Leclerc proved pace-wise he's probably pretty likely going to win if he can start near the front. He's going to need some serious drama between him and Lang, I feel like, for things to switch in that manner. But bad start for Leclerc could be the disaster for the 3-time defending champion, 4-time total champion of the 450 class. And it's going to be fun to watch here in just a few moments. But the final stretch for these 250 guys, and kind of feels like the end of the season is upon us for all these guys. Nobody's really that closely fighting for much anymore. You got maybe some battles here, some battles there, but not really much going on. Maybe this is a close one here between Alec Horn and James Wilcox. But similar to that battle we watched before, they're a little further down the order. P15 for Wilcox here, which puts Alec Horn in 14th. And we're down to just about to collect the white flag from our race leader, Logan Leitzel. Terrific end of the year for Leitzel, as mentioned earlier in this broadcast. It just perfectly coincided, I guess, with him getting injured in Canada and unable to continue racing for the Troy Lee Designs Gas program up there in real life. So put more time into MX Simulator, and boy, the time has really showed here down the stretch. Some Grand Prix victories, some moto wins, now trying to knock off an overall victory here in the final round, and doing so with a 1-1 performance as well. I mean, just incredible stuff. The speed that he found at the end, consistency is seemingly always been pretty well there for Leitzel. He's really good at, you know, marching forward if he gets a bad start or staying up front if he gets a good start, but it hasn't always equated to wins. Now it is pretty consistently coming as race victories for him down the stretch. And it's going to mean third in the championship for him. It's going to mean an overall win here tonight. And who knows if he can carry this pace into next season. Maybe, just maybe, with some speculation of his teammate Payson Johnson moving up to the 450 class. And the 250 class still remaining a bit open. Maybe Leitzel becomes a force for a potential 250 indoor championship, which he almost got earlier this year. He was definitely in the thick of it for a little while, but eventually fell off a little bit. As he navigates through some lap traffic on this final lap of the race, I believe that is Lane Wofford ahead of him on the 181 Boots House Honda. But Leitzel just trying to soak it in here because he's only got so much of the race left to enjoy the feeling of leading a race at a Pro Motocross National in MX Simulator. But I'm sure he's going to love the feeling of winning this race even more. And a 1-1 performance too, just incredible. Top qualifier on the day. First moto was a little bit not to his liking, I feel like, to have the start that he did, have to fight his way forward like he did. But he got there by the halfway point and took off. This time he got the lead earlier. He didn't quite pull away as much, but it's still going to be a dominating victory in the end. Logan Leitzel takes the win at the final race of the 250 class championship in 2021 here at Hangtown. Thomas Wilcox coming down to finish second in this race, trying so much so to hold on to third in this championship, but it's just not going to work out in his favor. He's actually going to go from third to fifth in the standings because this man, Cooper Hunt, is going to hold third in the championship, or fourth, excuse me, by a single point over Thomas Wilcox. You got Luke Sullivan as well coming into the final turn to pick up fourth by A nose there. Oh, here we go. A little battle to the flag, perhaps. Matherly versus Carter for 5th. Carter trying to chase him down here at the very end of this one. Matherly goes defensive up the inside. Carter's going to hit this outside line hard. But it will be Matherly 5th. Carter 6th by literally exactly 1 second. Seth Shirley should get 7th, no problem. Seth Carr is in 8th. Casey Cochran 9th. Johan Bordeaux in 10th. Trevor Burns in 11th. James Wilcox here in 12th. Alec Horn 13th. Brandon Nygren 14th. Jack Gatlin 15th. Benjamin Saves is 16th. Lane Wofford was the last rider on the lead lap in 17th. 18th for Trevin Thompson. 19th was Rogan McIntosh. And 20th went to Devin Davis. Let's go back to... it doesn't look like we really have much battling going on anymore. So Bordeaux ends up 10th. Burns and Wilcox still fairly close together, but they should be 11th, 12th. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a change there unless Burns goes down in the last turn. He's good to go. Burns makes it through. Wilcox through into 12th. Alec Horn in 13th. Brandon Nygren here should get 14th. Jack Gatlin 15th. And Benjamin Saves will get 16th, as mentioned, last rider on the lead lap. So let's wait for cuts to come in. Still got a few riders coming through. Got one more rider coming, and we'll get those cuts. See how it shakes down in the final 250 moto of the year. Then it's time for that 450 moto, and oh man, I hope you guys are ready. Hope you got a good beverage, a good snack. Had your bathroom break, you don't need to get up. All the above, because this final 450 moto of the year is going to be quite incredible. All right, we're still waiting on one rider to cross to get those cuts, and now he's riding backwards, so he's about to get kicked. Finally comes into the final turn. Let's see, has he crossed the line? Oh, he hasn't crossed the line yet. And there it is. All right, finally got over the line. Just sitting here taking all of our time tonight. Ooh, Cooper Hunt got around Wilcox for second, so that definitely solidifies Hunt as 4th in the championship. So Wilcox is going to lose 5 points to Leitzel. He'll end up 8 points behind Leitzel for 3rd, which means he ends up 5th. Cooper Hunt will only end up 3 back of Leitzel. Man, that was a lot of cuts. How many cuts did Leitzel have? 6.45? Looks like 6.45 seconds of cuts. Wow. So a change there at the end, but the big winner of the day is this man, Logan Leitzel. All right, back in studio, Kellen Brower in booth. Buckle up, people. This is going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully we have as thrilling of a race in this final 450 moto as we just had in the first 450 moto, because it was incredible. Leclerc coming from 36th up to 4th at one point, crashed his way back to 5th, 1 point in it. 1 point. Leclerc leads this championship by 1 point. He's on the verge of becoming the first person in MX Simulator history to ever win a 5th title on the pro scene in anything. He and Tyson Fresquez both have 4 championships each. Fresquez 4 Supercross titles, Leclerc 4 outdoor titles in 2014, 2018, 19, and 20. And he might have a 5th on the docket right here, but boy, oh boy, the Underground RC team has made it difficult tonight. And Leclerc has to get a start in this moto. Has to get a start. It's so critical right now with the scenes and the way things are right now. This is It's gonna be crazy. Everybody talking in chat one more time before we drop the gates. All right, everybody in chat, are you guys ready? Who is going to come out on top? You got Lang, you got Leclerc. Who's it going to be? KR Money says he just talked to Leclerc a little bit ago. He definitely wasn't happy. Pretty much whole shot or die. So he is going to go for it in this second moto. Hayden Stevenson's here. This 450 race is about to be crazy. KJ Thompson wants me in the booth. I'm in the booth. No, I'm kidding. I know what you're talking about. Rasmus Balzer's looking for Leclerc to come out on top. Sturban wants Leclerc on top. Dallas Fane wants Lang. And Sturban wants the 4-Pete. Ken Farnsworth is rooting for Lang. Alligator wants Leclerc. Alpha just wants things to get spicy. Austin Schaefer says, go Zor. That's Sky Zor, also known as Alexis Leclerc. And yeah, Alligator, like he says, he has to get that whole shot. Definitely needs that whole shot this time around. All right. Another lineup check. These guys trying to get them ready one more time. Whew. This is going to get nuts. Sean625 wants Leclerc. Luke Sullivan says, thanks for streaming this year. Better be title next year. Number 11, you will see me. Oh, I'm going to see you all right. Hook it up, Sully. Get it done, boss. Joseph Shipley wants Lang. 619 Riders Clan is hoping for Leclerc. Alex Griffiths thinks that Brock Pearson's punting Leclerc. Well, we talked about the lag issue in the first moto. Going to be interesting to see what happens. Tucker Francis wants Lang. Liam Atkinson's just going for Scott, whoever Scott is. Greg the Legend hopes Leclerc gets it done. T Shields, Tyler Shields wants Leclerc as well. KR Money's looking for some spice. Kyle Miller wants T-Lang to win this title because he narrowly lost that 250 title last year. Dallas Fane, like he said, wants Lang. Lucas King, leg hair versus Mang. It is on. Jay-Z Joker's looking for Lang as well. Colby Ewell wants Skyzor, a.k.a. Leclerc. Jack Hurst just is ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. This is going to be nuts. A lot of Lang love, a lot of Leclerc love. We got a divided chat, and this is going to be incredible. I'm excited. I hope you guys are. I just hope it's anything like what we saw out of Lang, or out of, Holm and Leclerc in 2018. Seriously, if you haven't watched the Indiana Ironman National, whatever you want to call it, from 2018, if this race turns out to be boring and one of these guys walks it home, go watch that race after this, because that final moto in Ironman in 2018 still to me is the best moto of all time in terms of championship drama, what was on the line, how people rode, everything like that. But hey, right now, right here, live on Start Your Systems, we have something that could top that. Somehow, some way, we are back to where we were 3 years ago. Two guys separated by a single point going into the last moto of the year. This is going to be crazy. I'm just happy that we're ending this way. Like, honestly, kind of felt like the season was getting deflated, but to have this type of championship fight coming into the final moto, so stoked for it. We're going late tonight. Normally these streams end up being like exactly 3 hours or thereabouts. We're at 2:45 right now, so this thing's going 3.5 hours most likely. We're going till about midnight on the East Coast. It is already tomorrow for Leclerc, and this is going to be crazy. You guys are just stoked in chat too. Love to see it. Love to see how pumped everybody is about the racing action. Let's get us reloaded in and take us into 450 Moto 2 here at Hangtown. Oh boy. Lang sitting here with teammate Zach Fisher. Look at the focus and just visioning. that start. Caleb Hall, another Underground RC teammate here tonight. So let's just count them, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 teammates. 9 teammates for Tyler Lang. 0 for Alexis Leclerc. And Leclerc has to try to somehow stop that from ruining his chance at a title. I mean, I know people hate the team tactics, but you got to give credit to Underground RC for collecting the talent that they did and compiling some of the best MX Simulator racers ever on one team. And right now, it might help them win a title tonight in the form of Tyler Lang. Payson Johnson's got his title. Underground RC wants to sweep the Nationals. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's time to decide a champion in the 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Championship. Leclerc needs a good start. Let's see how he does. It's not a bad one. He's going to get to the corner first. Can he control? Through the inside comes Luke Magnetti. It's going to be Magnetti picking up the Studio 8 Whole Shot Award. Leclerc follows through. He's in about 6th. I don't know if that was Lang that went down. I do see that Johnson's up front, but it's Magnetti leading the way through. Magnetti on the number 30, BPC Yamaha. You got Eaglin 2nd, Pearson 3rd, Leclerc in 4th, Johnson right behind him in 5th. Where is Lang? I think Lang went down. Oh, he's way back here. I think that was him down in the second turn. It was an Underground RC rider, but I didn't see who. So now, Leclerc gonna have to work into the lead. He's got Johnson right behind him. It's already Eagland out front, so Magnetti went down. Let's see if Johnson plays the team player part here. Wow, Leclerc ripped a start though. So Johnson up the inside of Leclerc, trying to get around the number 1. And then Eagland at the front of the field. Look at Johnson, tucks inside, but then Leclerc, I think, maybe sensing Johnson would get there, launched out of the rut. He's basically surrounded by Underground RC rides as Eagland has now dropped. I don't know who was there, I forget, but Underground RC on either side of Leclerc out front. And Lang with all the work to do. So Leclerc, I think he is just going to try to stay out of trouble. Doesn't want to get involved in any of the drama. Wants to ride smart. Why is Leclerc running number 9 is the question. Very confused either way. Oh, you know what? I wonder if he's running a different number so that anybody that doesn't have his skins doesn't know it's him. Which is weird anyway, because Johnson's running number 1 in-game. So if we look at their in-game numbers, Leclerc is number 9. Johnson is number 1, even though Johnson actually is number 8 in this game when he's not the defending champion of a series, which he's not in the 450 class. And Leclerc is normally number 7. So I think he chose 9 specifically so that anybody that doesn't have his skins doesn't know it's him. So if he's lapping someone, they don't race him hard. By the way, here comes Johnson pulling up alongside. He's going to push Leclerc out, but it's just going to make an easy pass, simple pass in the end. And Leclerc doesn't want anything to do with that. So he's just going to allow Johnson through, but he does still have 2 Underground RC teammates ahead of him. So where is Lang? Has he made good progress? He's made decent progress. He's actually not that far behind where Leclerc is on the track. Give or take 12 to 15 seconds or so. Up to 16th already. And you know what? if you're the Underground RC teammates out front, it's not against the rules. Slow the pace down. If you want to make it possible for Lang to catch Leclerc, we might see some bunching here a little bit. Eli Tomac using that in 2017 to try to win the title against Ryan Dungey. We go to the F1 series, Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton in 2016. Hamilton bunched. Oh, Lang jumping over. Wow. So Lang working his way forward, trying to get around Reed Young. Again, just like Leclerc, some of these guys are just not going to make it easy for Lang. But he's made some decent progress. Johnson already catching Eagland out front, so we got a battle for the lead starting to brew a little bit here. Johnson wants to win this moto. He wants to win this overall. As it stands right now, Eagland has it 2-1 to Johnson's 3-2. Lang at a 1 outside of the top 10 somewhere. And obviously Leclerc doesn't even care the slightest, I'd imagine, about this overall. He just is thinking championship, championship, championship. So Johnson, he's just going to try to get around Lang, Eagling, excuse me, and go at the front here. It sounds like another mistake for Lang has cost him more positions in the back, so this is really not playing out in his favor whatsoever. Leclerc can certainly control it from the front here. As the teammates battle for the lead, here comes Payson Johnson to the outside of his teammate, tucks to the inside, but Eagland holds steady. So Leclerc, so long as he doesn't crash, is in a pretty good spot right here. He doesn't have someone running him down necessarily. He's gapping Magnetti all the while. And he doesn't have to worry about any of the chaos with the two guys out front, so long as they don't bunch up ahead of him. So here is Lang back here, and I mean, again, it's starting to stretch out pretty good to Leclerc. He really needed to not crash in the second turn. Encouraging the trash tactics, yeah. Classic. I'm not encouraging anything. None of these guys can hear me. I'm simply speculating. My goodness. It's amazing how many people get, like, I don't know, just anal about team tactics or whatever when it literally exists in everything ever. Like, people act like, oh my god, it's motocross. It's different. It's not like other sports. No, it's exactly like every other sport ever. Exactly like every other motorsport, where especially in Formula One, if any of you are watching Formula One this year, I'm sure you're well aware of team tactics coming into play, so it's not that odd at all. And Johnson continuing to close up, but making a few too many mistakes, really, honestly, to keep his teammate close enough to try to pass him. And starting to fall back to Leclerc a little bit. I feel like Lang is what we really need to be keeping an eye on, but he's just not progressing through the field as well as he really should be here. So P14 right now for Lang. And like I said, I mean, he has to beat Leclerc. It doesn't really matter at all about points, where it gets to, whatever. He just simply has to beat Leclerc. And right now, it is just not going his way at all. He needs Leclerc to crash more. And it's just not going to happen. I just can't imagine Leclerc is going to make these types of mistakes. So Lang goes up to 13th now. I mean, it's going to kill him, honestly. He's probably going to get to 4th or 5th based on the pace that he can run and he's capable of running, but it's just not going to be enough. Now to 12th. And in the end, it came all the way down to starts again. Leclerc didn't get the start in the first moto. He had to do the charging through the field. Lang doesn't get the start in the second moto. He has to charge through the field. And now look at the predicament that we're in here as Lang almost goes through the front door. Now going to move up to 11th. It's just all about track positioning, though. It's not even about who's in front of Lang and how far he has to go or whatever in terms of positions. I mean, Leclerc is simply already like 25, 30 seconds ahead of Lang on track. And it's just not something that Lang can overcome on speed. So if Leclerc, I mean, he's running 215s. Johnson, they're 215, 216 up here. Leclerc is just kind of matching the leader's pace. Oh, that was a front end tuck, though. I love that take, too. That Musquin did it for Dungey all of 2017 when Musquin won races in 2017. Like, oh, yeah, I just pulled over for Dungey every round, but won races doing it, too. I still am baffled that people think that that KTM thing in 2017 mattered at all, because it didn't. Didn't matter at all. Eli Tomac lost the championship by more points than Marvin Musquin gave Ryan Dungey when he won East Rutherford. Didn't even matter. But people are still like, oh, Ryan Dungey wouldn't have won the title without the help of his slimy teammate. It's dumb. Lead battle starting to get a little closer again, though, as Eaglin makes a couple of mistakes and Johnson is closed back in. Airdrop Leclerc, though. I think Leclerc is honestly just trying to settle into a pace at this point. Back to Lang now, though. P8. And a little whiles to go before he is up into even the top 5 at this point. Top 5 is like 16 seconds ahead. .218 flat, though. Curious what he runs this time by. Curious if he's going to get down to the 216s or 15s like the guys out front. Otherwise, I mean, it's just such a lost cause even to think about it, because Leclerc just needs so many more mistakes. Yeah, 217, clear air, not even matching pace. Kind of more or less, I feel like, goes to show that Lang really got the benefit of the doubt with the start in the first moto and having teammates around him. I don't think that the teammates around him in the first moto, Lang would have straight up won that moto. I think you have some people like a Magnetti or someone that are closer. Eaglin goes down, but he doesn't fall off the bike. So Eaglin falls back to second place. And that allows Johnson through into the race lead. Tankster. Why didn't I hide in Ouija's suitcase and go to Rome and meet Cairoli? Well, I have already met Antonio Cairoli, so didn't need to. I guess I could have met him again. But it was actually, we only found out about this event last Thursday. Kind of knew Cairoli might be retiring, but we only found out about the actual event last Thursday. So Ouija actually initially asked me to go, and I wanted to go. But when we started looking into it a little bit and the way that things are going to work out and kind of the work schedule this week, and I wanted to go with my wife and my daughter, and we're trying to plan flights and stuff like that, it ended up being easier for Ouija to go, and then his wife wanted to go anyway. So on top of that, His wife wanted to go. Weege kind of wanted to go. End of season, etc. So he asked me to go, but then he ended up wanting to go, so he went. But I'm still going to Italy in November. I'm going to go to Mantova for the GPs that end the season, November 7th and 10th. Oh, Johnson down. Okay. Interesting. Where's Leclerc? Wow, he lost a lot of time. So Leclerc going to get up now behind Johnson, but suddenly Luke Magnetti's not that far back, nor is Caden Speck. And hey, you know what? We're looking at what? 3.9, so 4, 10, 11, 2. 25 seconds to Leclerc from Lang. Half the moto to go. Lap traffic coming into play. Leclerc dealing with the championship pressure. Oh, he's down again! Who's... Someone just hit him and disconnected immediately. Who is that? That is Walter Gebhardt. Wow, Walter Gebhardt causing some drama. So Leclerc has gone down twice. And he is now 20 seconds off the lead. Only 15 seconds ahead of Lang. And still dealing with somebody here on the 57. I think he's trying to move out of the way, whoever that is. Oh, but that's... I could have got dicey, that crash right there. So suddenly, Lang, if he starts putting laps together... Oh man, 16.7 too. He's up the pace. I mean, Walter isn't on underground, but I do know Walter and Leclerc go back. There is history there between those two and frustrations. And now that kind of comes back to a point. I mean, I don't condone what Walter did at all. That's ridiculous to do that a lap down. But friends and enemies being made on the track. If Leclerc has made a few more enemies, I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to pass certain people, though I do only believe that should be in a straight-up pass situation, not lapped rider. That's ridiculous what Walter just did. That's probably going to put him on the sidelines for the start of Supercross next year, which sucks. But hey, if you're Leclerc, don't make enemies, I guess, right? That's kind of the lesson sometimes you have to learn. But man, look at this. This is getting a little bit closer. Not even a little bit closer. It's suddenly a little bit more of an actual talking point because Lang is up to 6th. He's trying to get Blakely for 5th. Big scrub there for Lang, trying to get right up behind Blakely into this turn. Look at this, inside line at the top of the hill. Blakely outside. Lang's trying to go to the inside, but Blakely shuts the door. Oh, interesting take. Because Leclerc's using Seabolt's number, and I don't know if Gebhardt and Seabolt don't necessarily like each other or something along those lines, but I mean, if he doesn't have Leclerc's skin, he doesn't know that that's not Leclerc, essentially, right? Like, he might think it's Seabolt if he doesn't have his skin, so just a little more food for thought there. Lang to the outside. Gosh, he's been given Blakely fits here, but he just can't get that pass completed. Oh, Blakely's down. And that's going to be the pass made for Lang. So now Lang only has Leclerc ahead of him. 13.8 seconds down, but just went off the track, so that's going to cost him some time. And Leclerc has to ride pretty flawlessly here, because if he backs his pace off to try to hold on to this spot and then crashes again, Lang's going to be right there. Man, this is going to get interesting if Leclerc goes down. Not down yet, but if he does. So Leclerc's going to try to start riding smooth. He did a 2:31.4 last time by. That was the lap that the crashing started, essentially. And an 18.1 followed up. So what is Lang putting down behind? 13.3, or excuse me, 14.3 seconds is the gap. I mean, he's got to do two things right here. He's got to ride a little over his head, but he's got to not crash. 19.9, so he actually lost a second to Leclerc that last lap alone. And it might be because he's starting to ride over his head a little bit that these mistakes are creeping into the fray. Credit where credit's due. Luke Magnetti has snuck his way into third place in this race and has kind of stayed there. But we're coming down to the final 10 minutes of this moto, the final 10 minutes plus 2 laps of the 2021 season. And Lang is about to go up the hill behind Leclerc. So he knows he can almost see him coming in the opposite direction. He's lost a little bit more time. 19 seconds down now. So Lang must have had another mistake. Leclerc can now afford probably a fall off and a tip over. I wouldn't put it to 2 fall offs just yet. Who's picking it up? This is Johnson. So Pace and Johnson picking it up from a crash. And that's Robert Wilson, but a lap down. So now Leclerc has someone ahead of him to deal with a little bit. Let's see how he rides with someone right in front of him. Knowing that the gap has extended again, I wonder if he just tries to back the pace way off and not even deal with Johnson. Again, we're still not sure where Johnson's mindset is in regards to helping Lang at all. He might not care in the slightest, even though they're teammates. So it does seem like Leclerc might be backing the pace down just a little bit to let some breathing room ahead to Johnson. Because, I mean, also, another thing that comes into play here is if Johnson crashes right in front of Leclerc and Leclerc's on him, that he could take him down. So Leclerc, you know, might behoove himself to allow a little bit of distance unless he's trying to make this pass. We got 9 minutes, though, still on this clock. And plenty of things can happen. Johnson checking up in that corner. I don't think that was exactly a brake check per se, but he definitely came to a bit more of a stop than he really needed to make the turn. And now Leclerc is closed right up on him. So this is becoming a mano-a-mano battle. And it just doesn't seem like Johnson's riding to his capabilities right now. But Leclerc is closed up on him. Yeah, Johnson's slowing down a little bit here and there. It seems a mistake. And Leclerc goes by back into third. So now Johnson has to chase him. All the while, Luke Magnetti has moved into second place. And with chaos still seemingly set to ensue here. Gosh, could Magnetti be on the docket for a race win here? That would be incredible. And Johnson's going to light it up and go right back after Leclerc. I feel like this is pretty much proof at this point that I think Johnson does want Lang to win this championship. Because the second Leclerc goes by, he catches him again. So, I don't know. It seems kind of obvious to me. As he overshoots at the bottom of the hill and has to go off track, that's going to be some cuts. But he actually doesn't end up losing too much time to Leclerc. Oh, Ryder almost going down in front of Leclerc as a lapper. Oh, Leclerc gets into him. Leclerc's down. Leclerc's down. Down with the 343. I'm not sure who that is, but wow. Gets together with a lapped rider. Suddenly Lang is within about 8 seconds of him. Watch this gap go down. 8 seconds exactly. Gonna be under 8 seconds. Leclerc really cannot afford another fall-off crash. What just happened? So random. Who is that? I know he finished top 20 in the points in the first moto. Brody Barton, yeah. Wow, it's so weird. I mean, I guess, I don't know whose fault you could put there. Barton should be moving out of the way for the blue flag, but Leclerc also just went right down the inside of him without much of a care. So random. Oh, and Lang, oh no, I thought he lost more time. 16.5 last time by, 7.9 seconds between him and a championship. And Leclerc is now catching back up to Johnson and Brody Barton. It does seem like Johnson's slowing the pace. Barton is now going to move aside and let Leclerc go this time, so he moves aside. But I don't know. Johnson was so much further ahead of Leclerc just now, and suddenly there's not much in it. What is about to happen right here? This is going to hit pressure cooker situation. I almost don't want to look because I feel like this is team tactics really starting to come into play here. Johnson slowed down so much. And now Leclerc just has him right in front of him. As Lang comes up the hill behind these guys, trying to close this gap down. And Johnson just in the main line. Checked up a little bit on the drop down right there. We got 5 minutes left to go, and this thing looks like it's about to really pop off. You can see Lang in the background. And Johnson has slowed so much, but he's riding defensive lines, blocking the lines. Here comes Leclerc. Leclerc trying to triple off the side of the track, and Johnson just rears up the inside to go back by. This is almost certainly the bunching technique. I cannot think of anything other than that because there's no reason Johnson would slow down this much otherwise. Wow. So this is a whole different level because here comes Tyler Lang. Oh, Leclerc slid out. And here comes Tyler Lang. Unbelievable scenes. There's going to be just about nothing in it between these two as they cross the line this time by, and a championship hanging in the balance. However you want to say it got to this point, this is the point it's at. Leclerc is starting to have to ride out of his comfort zone again, and Lang sees the championship leader ahead of him. This is incredible. And Lang has closed that gap down even more now since the finish line jump. Oh, I can't believe it's getting to this point. Leclerc is trying to hold on, and Johnson is still just right in front of him. He's sandwiched. What do? Do you pass Johnson but then maybe get taken out? Because, I mean, Johnson can just go up the inside into the next turn and block pass him. It's not illegal to block pass him. And then that slows Leclerc down, or maybe even, gets the front wheel caught and takes him down. Johnson cross jump. Leclerc's down. And Lang goes ahead. Lang into 4th place. A brutally obvious cross jump out of Pace and Johnson. But I don't know how you prove it. What? And so Lang is going to catch his teammate, who's rolling around in 3rd place, while Magnetti is still ahead here in 2nd. Eaglin's walking away with the lead. He doesn't care. He doesn't know what's going on behind him. What is happening in MX Simulator right now? Lang is back in a position to win this championship. Leclerc, losing 2 points right now, has to do the chasing again. 6.2 seconds is the gap. And he's gone down again. He swaps into the corner and goes down. Is that going to be all? Oh my gosh. Did he just... Alexis Leclerc disconnects. Oh my god, I hate it. I hate it so much. Wow, Tyler Lang is going to win this championship. I can't believe it. Leclerc disconnected. What just happened? My gosh. Wow, so Lang is now in 3rd place. And he is going to win this championship this year, folks. Unless he DNFs this race, he's going to win this title. Wow, and he goes down as well. That could have been the opportunity. I mean, you hate to see it. That was clear and obvious what Payson Johnson was doing. But I think before that, I think you could say it was, other than, you know, the just Gebhardt being stupid, but that's just Gebhardt. I think this race had been ran fair until the Johnson thing. So I feel like you have to put the massive a portion of this blame onto Payson Johnson and what he is elected to do. And if you believe what people were saying in the first moto, it doesn't sound like Payson Johnson and Lang are necessarily on great terms as friends or anything like that. I don't personally believe Lang would have told Johnson to do this, but it's clearly Johnson that did this. And very unfortunate that in the end, Leclerc is going to be livid, frustrated, the whole 9 yards. It sucks that this championship ends this way. It really does. But, I mean, hey, you know what? Some of the tactics that are in play here are not tactics we haven't seen before. Some of the things that people just did tonight are things that we have not seen before, or have seen before, I should say. So there's two sides to every coin. The unfortunate part is that Leclerc still had a shot at that championship even after it happened, but he was clearly frustrated, and it clearly had gotten to him at that point, which I don't blame him. That is ridiculous, the way that that whole thing played out. I have not seen what Leclerc said. And I still don't see it. Must have been further up or something. Haven't seen what Leclerc said. No. What am I missing? I don't even see that he reconnected. What are you guys talking about? Is this in Discord? Or am I just blind? Oh, you guys are saying in the YouTube chat. Okay, you will not see me again on RF is what he says. My bad, wasn't looking in YouTube. I thought he said it in game. I mean, I guess I really don't blame him, because the things that are going on here, the things that I'm watching unfold before my eyes, pretty frustrating to say the least. And I feel like if you're Lang, I don't know if you could feel very good about winning this championship. I mean, nobody really is going to feel good about tonight, I don't think. I feel like I'm about to ban 619 Riders Clan for basically just ripping into me and saying, oh God, I hope team tactics happen, because I haven't said that once tonight. I've been saying things could happen, and then guess what? They did freaking happen. Talked about blaming, or talked about bunching, I should say, and it happened. Talked about teammates getting involved, and it happened. Talked about Janice getting put off the side of the track and punting Leclerc back, and said that's ridiculous. And then, you know, Walter Gebhardt, not even on the team, he's doing stuff to Leclerc. I mean, everybody seemed like they were teaming up against him tonight. I just feel bad for Leclerc. I feel bad that he deserved to win this championship on a fair and square level, though. And he's not going to even get that chance. tonight, so sucks. Give credit to Colby Eaglin, though, because while all this chaos has ensued behind him, he has just been oblivious to it all, really. I think he's just trying to put his moto in out front. And just cruising along. By the way, thanks, Alexis, for donating. You really didn't need to do that, dude. I honestly feel like giving it back to you because I don't feel like I deserve your money tonight. You deserved a shot at a championship, dude. So. Crazy to see how many people here were tonight, though, to see it happen. And, man, unfortunate that it happened this way. Well, Tyler Lang has made it through on Payson Johnson. Johnson's kind of falling apart late in the race here. Either way, Colby Eaglin's going to win this race, though. And all the credit to him for doing so in this last round of the season. He's going to go 2-1 on the day. And it was pretty clear his intentions in the first moto were to let his teammate Lang win the race. I mean, we saw all gamuts of the spectrum today out of Underground. I didn't expect it to turn into what it did in the second moto, though. I thought, yes, maybe there would be some bunching. Maybe there would be a cheeky, aggressive pass or two. And I thought for sure the last thing would be that the Underground teammates would let Tyler Lang win a moto if he could do it. And that happened in the first moto. Janice's pass was over the top. Walter Gebhardt's antics were ridiculous. And I feel like the cross jump, specifically out of Payson Johnson, was very much uncalled for. So, bummer deal, the way that this championship ended. And it seems like a lot of people feel like they've been cheated tonight. I feel like we're cheated of a good championship fight. I would have loved to have seen, in that situation, nothing from Johnson whatsoever. But after the two crashes out of Leclerc, and we had 15 seconds in it between him and Lang, I mean, Leclerc, you know, imagine things get a little bit froggier again. He goes down again. Maybe Lang catches him. Ridiculous. There we go, though. Final couple corners. Colby Eagland is going to take the win tonight at Hangtown. And look at this. He is just cruising along. Is he... I don't think he's going to let someone else win. No, he is. All right, Colby Eagland takes the win here at Hangtown. Luke Magnetti going to pick up second place in this one. And Tyler Lang is going to win this championship. And I think it's unfortunate that people in chat are already trying to say that he, you know, no congratulations deserved, and this is a cheated title and everything like that. Because yes, while there was team tactics involved, it's not like Tyler Lang himself punted Leclerc all night long to ensure he didn't get points. His team did the job, and I always feel bad, personally speaking, for how much crap Marvin got for playing the team player and Dungey got for simply absolving team playerness. But Tyler Lang is going to win the 2021 450 class national championship in MX Simulator. And it is very clear that nobody's happy about it. Nobody, including Lang, seems to be thrilled with that situation. Yeah, I mean, Lang, credit where credit's due to Lang to even keep Leclerc honest to this point. If they could be co-champions, they would be co-champions. No one hated Dungey after Marv did that. That is the most blatant lie I've ever seen. Still to this day, if you read Dungey's social media comments, he is still getting blasted for a fake title. Oh, I'll tell you what, though. I'm curious to see what RaceFactory has to say about all this. I really am. Curious if they have any input. If anybody's going to get suspended. If anybody's going to get banned. Really interested to see how that plays out. Let's give credit to where everybody finished up, though. Chase Blakely was 4th this moto. Johnson ends up 5th after all that chaos. Adam Holm comes home in 6th place there. Jacob Hubbard 7th. Chase Donovan 8th. John Heilman in 9th, and Castaneda rounded out the top 10 in this moto. Brock Pearson in 11th, Caden Speck in 12th, Jeremy Siebold in 13th, Jack Haley 14th, Blake O'Brien 15th, Aaron Rockefeller comes across 16th, 17th was Janice, 18th for Mills, 19th for Bruns, and 20th for Reed Young. Let's take a look at cuts. Nothing changed. Colby Eagland, your big winner tonight here at Hangtown. And this man walks away as your 2021 RaceFactory Gaming National Champion. Well, thank you for the donation, Mr. Thomas Wilcox, Leclerc number 1. Look, if we're all being honest here, what Alexis Leclerc has that no one can take away from what happened tonight is he is still probably going to go down as the greatest MX Simulator racer of all time, even if he never races RaceFactory again. He is the wins king in the 450 class. He's the champions king in the 450 class. Only one other person has as many titles as he does, and he would have probably beaten that tonight, to be fair. So, not taking away from Lang whatsoever, Alexis Leclerc is a legend, and if that is unfortunately the last race we ever see him race in RaceFactory Gaming competition, or even at the pro level, congratulations on the hell of a career, dude, because you freaking crushed it. I mean, pretty much for a decade. You know, he showed up in 2013 with pretty much hot laps to his name and turned those hot laps into so many race wins, so many championships, and a lot of good memories over the years. So I hate that this is the way it ends for him if it does. But if it's not the end, we look forward to seeing him hopefully next year, at least doing something. If it's not RaceFactory, at least do EMF or something again, because I hate to see a talent like his go to waste. But at least for now, we're going to go ahead and congratulate the 2021 champion Tyler Lang. Even if you people don't think he deserves it, he was still there all the way till the end. And team tactics aside and all that, Tyler Lang had a fantastic year and deserves to be given credit for the year that he had, championship or not. So he wins the title. Payson Johnson is your 250 national champion for the 2nd year running here in RaceFactory Gaming competition. And that is it for this 2021 campaign. Crazy night of racing. I had initially tried to plan, at least to some degree, to bring somebody in for a post-race interview. But I feel like given this situation, it's not the best to bring either person in because Leclerc is going to be mad and Lang is going to be chewed out by you guys. So we're not going to do that. But I do want to say a quick thank you to every single one of you guys that tuned in all year long and watched these broadcasts. It's been a lot of work for me, quite honestly, to try to make these every week and not get to see my family as much as I probably want to. But it's been a blast, and I hope you guys enjoyed every single one of these 12 rounds of this championship, even if it ends on a somber note. The racing action that we saw this year was tremendous in both classes. Nathan Prynn made things interesting against Payson Johnson, who was so good in the 250 class. Tyler Lang at least keeping this championship interesting in the 450 class till the end. And obviously Leclerc basically just being the legend that he is and winning as many races as he ended up winning this year deserves a lot of recognition for the manner that he carried himself and being the champion that he is. I'm sure that we'll always look at him as a legend if this is truly the end. So again, thanks guys so much for tuning in. A big shout out to atom.com and RJerky for coming on board with the broadcast all season long. And thank you to RaceFactoryGaming.com for putting on these races and building these tracks and providing something for us to even talk about every week. So yes, thanks again so much for tuning in. And we hope to see you next week at the MX Sim Games. The MXS Games coming next Monday through Wednesday. We're going to be broadcasting that every night from Monday through Wednesday. So 5:30 p.m. Pacific next Monday. We're back, same time, same place, and the MXS Games. So instead of all this drama and chaos, how about a little bit more fun? Freestyle competitions, step up, half pipe, quarter pipe, whatever you want to call it. We got Supercross, straight rhythm, best whip, Supermoto, all coming at you hot and heavy next week at the MXS Games. And we really hope to see you guys all there. But again, thanks again so much for tuning in to this broadcast and for all year in the 2021 championship. We're going to sign off for now, but thanks again for tuning in to the 2021 Race Factory Gaming National Championship in MX Simulator. Bye-bye for now.